entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it.
Goat thriller, back better, iller, pound for pound, killing these topics with analytics, silencing all the critics, trying to bite the style, they get sun like children. YouTube villain, podcast killing, so antagonistic and prolific with the swiftness. Make sure you make weight before you trying to debate. Yeah, I said it, and I never hesitate. Hit them with hooks, cause these rooks took the bait. Start the show, cause goats never hesitate. Ducking smoke, got them sweating at they toxins.
Yeah,
Goat thriller, cleaning up the sport of boxing. Aight then.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I fucking wait.
I am the greatest.
Yeah, I said it. Now, before I get into what I'm about to get into, I just want to make sure that each and every last one of y'all hit that like or dislike button. And please don't forget to put some motherfucking Coach K, Duke, full court pressure on that sub button if you're new to the channel. And please be sure to ring that noti bell so you can be notified via email each and every time your boy E Thriller, aka Hamrothstein, aka Goat Thriller, aka the Black Picasso, because I paint these pictures so vividly with my words on the sport of boxing whenever I feel like it. And once again, fight fans, ladies and gentlemen in the Wolf Pack, welcome back. Now, first things first, man. Shout out to everybody that's watching this live stream podcast on my YouTube account. Shout out to everybody that's watching this live stream podcast on my Facebook account, my Twitter account, my IG account. Shout out to my TikTokers. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Salute. Make sure y'all hit that like button as you come through the door. Drop some threes in the chat if you're rocking with your boy E Thriller, aka the Black Picasso. And if y'all can hear me, if my mic is crispy, and if y'all to hit that motherfucking like button. So tonight, y'all see the title of tonight's show. Errol Spence Jr., man, a.k.a. the Big Fish, has been making his media rounds to promote his fight with Terence Crawford that is scheduled to take place on July the 29th at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, right? And with that being said, Errol Spence Jr. just had an interview. Shout out to the big podcast with Shaquille O'Neal. Shout out to Shaq Diesel, man. Make sure y'all go put some full court pressure on that like button and sub up to that. And also, shout out to the media members who was able to interview Errol Spence at the Dallas Cowboys facility the other day, which is the interview I'm going to play. Now, I'm not going to show the visuals of this interview because you know how YouTube play. They like to flag my account, want to report me and shit like that. I got fuck ass niggas that do that bullshit. So I'm just going to roll the audio because something Errol Spence said in the midst of that interview that caught my eye that I wholeheartedly disagree with in this motherfucking interview. So without further ado, I do not own the rights to this content. This is for educational purposes only. YouTube, please don't flag my account. As a matter of fact, just to let it be known, I'm only going to play the audio, YouTube, not the visual. DJ E Thriller, roll that clip.
Mentally, and I'm ready to go, ready to put on a great show.
You guys have been talking about this fight for so long. How good does it feel for it to finally happen?
It feels great, man. It's been a grueling negotiations, and we finally got it done. I had to sit out, a year. People have been wanting this fight to happen for 5-6 years, and it's finally happening. So it feels great just to get through these tough obstacles of, getting the fight and, all the demands that he wanted and just finally getting it done and come to agreement that and hopefully, and now we're going to fight July 29th and I'm ready to put on a great show and a great performance. And
Okay, first things first. The first thing I noticed, man, I like Errol Spence's body language. He ain't with that old acting all finicky. He ain't really nervous whenever he's talking about the fight like he's been in years past. And then another thing I noticed about Errol Spence, which really isn't a point that I wanted to get to about the whole NBA comparison or whatever, but did y'all just hear how he threw Terence Crawford under the bus? He basically pinned this whole negotiation process on Terence Bud Crawford by basically saying that, look, man, it was tiresome. I was frustrated and all this, just to sum it up to for lack of better term. So it sounds like to me, based off of Errol Spence's perspective, Terence Bud Crawford was the one that was holding up negotiations. This is basically what I'm taking from this shit. Y'all drop something in the chat and let your boy E Thriller know, am I reaching with this? But from what I just took from what this man just said, he's saying that it was grueling. He said it was nerve-wracking. And, all the ridiculous demands that Terence Crawford wanted to make. Let me know if I'm hearing that right in the chat. As a matter of fact, I will fucking wait. I'll wait. Matter of fact, let me replay that because maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm reaching. Let me rewind it. Let's roll it.
Obstacles of, getting a fight and, all the demands that he wanted and just finally getting it done and come to agreement that great just to get through these tough obstacles of, getting a fight and, all the demands that he wanted and just finally getting it done and come to agreement that and hopefully, and now we're going to fight July 29th and I'm ready to put on a great show and a great performance. And this is my last belt to get at the welterweight division so I can finally move up.
Okay, so the man, I knew I wasn't tripping, Errol Spence Jr., a.k.a. the Big Fish, clearly stated that all of the demands he wanted, meaning Terence Bud Crawford, not we, he said he. All right, let's finish rolling this audio, man.
What would this win mean for your career, though? Is this a legacy win, legacy fight for you guys?
Oh, definitely. This is legacy fight. For me, this is Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns. This is Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. This is a legacy fight. Two undefeated fighters fighting for undisputed. I feel like this is a huge fight in the last probably like 10, 20 years. Everybody say the Floyd and Pacquiao fight was huge, but that was a lot older. We're in our primes, and I feel like this is gonna be an amazing fight. Everybody knows he got knockout power. I have knockout power, so we're gonna put on an amazing show, an amazing performance.
How difficult it has been for you to get the weight for you before this fight?
It's a little bit difficult, but I'm not complaining at all. I know what I signed up for, so it's time to put the work in and get down to the weight that we agreed on. So I'm not here to complain about weight or anything like that. I'm gonna get down there and I'm gonna fight my heart out.
I love it, man. I love it because Errol Spence, you are in no shape or form in any condition or any circumstance, rather, to complain about, it being hard to make the weight when we was waiting on you this whole fucking time just to make this goddamn fight because you had to clean up your side of the street. And now that you did exactly what the fuck you said you was going to do by collecting all of the 3 belts before you went to go holler at Terence Bud Crawford, we don't want to hear shit about no goddamn weight or, because we know that you hired a nutritionist and we know that you've been living a more dedicated and disciplined life, so to speak, in the sport of boxing now, going through everything that you went through in the past. So kudos to Errol Spence for not making any excuses or for taking the bait that this reporter just asked, right? You understand what I'm saying? Well, let's finish rolling this clip.
What's the difference between you and it? What puts you over the top in this fight?
I feel like I feel like I'm the stronger fighter. I feel like I'm more durable.
Okay, so this is the part that I wanted to hone in on. Y'all make sure y'all listen to his breakdown on the comparisons, the NBA comparisons, right? Because Errol Spence compared himself to Tim Duncan, the big fundamental. And then he went on to say Terence Crawford is more like Kevin Garnett, all talent. Let's listen to this.
I feel like I feel like I'm the stronger fighter. I feel like I'm more durable, especially if we stand there and we go at each other. I just feel like I just got the better fundamentals. I feel like in boxing wise, I'm Tim Duncan in boxing. Like I got all the fundamentals, the jab, hook, whatever it is, blocking, whatever. I do everything right. And I just feel like I'm just gonna be the better fighter overall. I mean, he has a lot of talent, skills. He can move. It's basically, if I related to basketball, it's like Tim Duncan versus Garnett.
Right.
After you win the fight, what is next for you? What are you thinking after Terence Crawford?
Well, if he don't initiate the rematch clause, then I'm moving up to 154 pounds.
Canelo in the 47?
we're not thinking about Canelo right now, but I mean, if the fight come across the table, I definitely take that fight. I feel like 165, 168, that's more my natural weight, and it's a lot easier for me to make. So I definitely take that fight.
The pound for pound means something to you? Because there's a lot of people, when they talk about pound for pound, right now they're not mentioning your name.
Yeah. I mean, they probably not mentioning my name because I've been out for a year, but I am ranked like I think 4 or 5 in the pound for pound.
Right.
So it means it used to mean a lot more to me, back when I was younger, but right now it's more about legacy. It's more about getting the defining fights. It's more about getting a huge payday, because at the end of the day, you see a lot of fighters, even in the Hall of Fame. 99% of these fighters in the Hall of Fame, either they died broke or they were broke when they got into the Hall of Fame. So with me, it's all about financial literacy, and just making sure that I'm 100% on point with my financials. So when it's all said and done, I can retire peacefully, still be able to take care of my kids, still be able to do the things that I've been doing while I'm boxing. I can do it after boxing.
Can you teach the Cowboys something about winning?
All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody in this bitch, man. Make sure you hit that like button, man, and drop some threes in the chat if you didn't hit that like button, because I got about 50 people in this mug with 31 likes. Can the other people hit the goddamn like button? Pretty please. Let's run the likes up to 100, because as always, once I get done popping my shit the way that I pop my shit, I'm going to read some comments, and then I'm going to drop the link and let y'all come on and give y'all take on this perspective, whether you agree or disagree with your boy E Thriller, a.k.a. the Black Picasso, a.k.a. Goat Thriller. Y'all know me. I really don't give a fuck. It makes for a better show. Now, let me focus on what Errol Spence said earlier. He mentioned something to the effect of him being more like a Tim Duncan, right? Which is pretty fair to say, even though I believe, in my personal opinion, Errol Spence is a way more exciting fighter inside of the ring than a Tim Duncan was on the motherfucking court. And allow for me to explain this. When have we ever seen Errol Spence not in an action-packed fight? I wait. I will fucking wait. Because to me, when you make that comparison with Tim Duncan, I feel like y'all personalities kind of mesh up. But as far as like your skill set and, being an exciting fighter inside of the ring, opposed to Tim Duncan, who was pretty much boring to any NBA fan that I know of, that I've ever debated with in barbershops that I done went to, or people motherfuckers at school, or, just shooting the shit with some of my homies or something like that. We don't really look at Tim Duncan as like that. Like, we know that he had the bank shot. We know that he had the baby jump hooks. We knew that he could shoot jumpers from anywhere between 15 and 20 feet. He had a three-point shot at times, if need be. He was a solid free throw shooter and things of that nature. He was very dominant around the paint. He was a hell of a defender. I mean, he played on both ends of the floor. Tim Duncan is one of, if not the greatest players of all time. And to be honest with y'all, Tim Duncan is in my top 10 players of all time. Yeah, I said it, and I didn't stutter. I feel like Tim Duncan is that special, and I know it's a lot of people who love to diminish Tim Duncan's greatness because he had a lot of great role players around him, like Amano Ginobili, who was one of the best six mans to ever grace the NBA, or he had guys like a Tony Parker, who was another all-time great NBA player in my personal opinion. But he made those guys better. Tim Duncan was so unselfish. Tim Duncan was a hell of a leader. Tim Duncan was just so selfless, y'all. Like, he was willing to take a step back and let other people take the game-winning shot, and he wasn't worried about getting the credit or throwing people under the bus or bitching and moaning about his teammates. Like, that's what Tim Duncan wasn't cut from that cloth, right? He didn't make excuses. He was just in the results business. And I am no San Antonio Spurs fan, and y'all know me, really. I'm going to be honest. I hate Tim Duncan. Like, I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Kobe guy, which is why this brings me to my next point. How the fuck can Errol Spence sit up here and say that Terence Bud Crawford, a.k.a. the Boogeyman, a.k.a. the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, arguably the most talented and skilled and determined fighter in the fucking ring to date? How can you sit up here and compare him to a Kevin Garnett? Man, that's not the shit on Kevin Garnett, because he's one of my favorite basketball players of all time. Kevin Garnett was very fucking athletic. Kevin Garnett was very durable. Kevin Garnett was very intense. Kevin Garnett was very mean. But one thing about Kevin Garnett that he left out, and I'm just going to add proper context to this shit as a basketball connoisseur, Kevin Garnett wasn't a fucking winner. I mean, if we just calling it a spade and we keeping it real, yeah, we all love KG. We love his personalities. I love his stories. Shout out to his podcast. He's doing phenomenal things right now. He was a phenomenal player. But make no mistake about it, Kevin Garnett didn't win anything until he joined forces with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Ray John Rondo, Kendrick Perkins, James Posey, Tony Allen, Eddie House. You understand what I'm saying? The list goes on and on. And that's not to diminish his greatness, but I'm just saying all that to say, my nigga, Bud Crawford didn't need no motherfucking help. Bud Crawford didn't have to jump ship. And for you to just sit up here and say this shit so casually was like a slap in not only Terence Crawford's face, but anybody that loves the sport of basketball. Because to me, I think a more fair comparison for Terence Bud Crawford, and I said this on my last show, I compare Bud to a Kobe Bean Bryant, because we all know Kobe was a mentor to all of the young players. Players looked up to Kobe coming into the league. Players wouldn't even players wouldn't even dare to even test Kobe Bean Bryant on the court. And we all know in the sport of boxing and in that square circle inside of the ring, or dare I even say outside of the ring, motherfuckers ain't gonna test Bud Crawford. We know this. Facts, E-Thriller. Facts. Okay? So you got all that going on, and then when you couple that with the fact that Kobe Bryant was one of, if not the most dedicated basketball players to ever grace the hardwood, we can say the same shit about Terence Bud Crawford, because we see him honing his skills. We see him working in the orthodox stance. We see him switching to southpaw. We see him trying new shit in the ring, proving to the naysayers that he can fight on the inside, a la the David Avenesian fight. We've seen him fight on the outside against bigger fighters like a Bradis Prescott or Victor Postal and shit like that. We've seen him go up and wait and maul guys like Jeff Horn when everybody thought he was going to be too fucking small in his first match at 147 pounds whenever he captured that WBO strap, you know, from beating the man who, quote unquote, beat the man that everybody was chasing at 147. Hello. Must I remind you motherfuckers in the chat, some of you imbeciles, some of you Neanderthals who love to negate the facts, that was Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. And I know it's a lot of idiots on YouTube and beyond and on social media platforms are going to say, E-Thriller, fucking Jeff Horn really didn't beat Pacquiao. Shut up. I'm not trying to hear that shit. If you go back and watch the goddamn fight with the volume off, yeah, I said it, and put the shit in slow-mo, because YouTube, that is the best feature on YouTube to watch these fights. Put that shit in 0.75 or 0.5 slow motion mode so you can see any and everything that's slipping through or going through the guard and shit like that, right? And you can see that Manny Pacquiao was whiffing on a lot of them goddamn punches. I'm just saying. But whenever you watch the great Manny Pacquiao, and he is great, one of the best fighters to ever grace the sport, I'm not taking anything away from him. But let's keep it a bug, man. Every time we watched the Pacquiao fight, whether he was landing punches or not, the crowd was going, ooh, ah, and the man just swinging in the air. I mean, it was kind of similar to the motherfucking fight with Lomachenko and Devin Haney, to where there were times within that fight, and I'm not saying Lomachenko wasn't landing punches, but I mean, my Lord, every time Lomachenko threw a shot, the crowd reacted with a ooh and ah, because he's so fucking fast and he's darting in and out, giving you all these goddamn different looks and angles and shit like that, right? So to the naked eye, it looks like, damn, this motherfucker just landed a 10-punch combination, but that's neither here nor there. Back to what I was saying. But if you gonna compare motherfucking Terence Bud Crawford to an NBA player, you got to compare him to the likes of a Kobe Bean Bryant, right? Because we all know Kobe always added to his game. Kobe added a post-up fadeaway. Kobe added the drifters on the left elbow, the right elbow, step back jumpers. He expanded his three-point range. I mean, there was a point in time, I hope y'all sitting down for this, and Kobe's my favorite athlete of all time, but there was a point in time where Kobe couldn't shoot no threes like that, right? Kobe had to hone his skills and had to constantly work and do repetition and get his reps up and shoot fucking 20,000 shots a day. This is what Kobe Bean Bryant had to do in order to surpass a lot of greats. You understand what I'm saying? And he went head to head with Tim Duncan and the Spurs a lot of times. And a lot of times, more often than not, they came out on top, a la because he had a Shaquille O'Neal. But let's talk about his second go run whenever he won those back-to-back championships, whenever he was leading the troops with a motherfucking Paul Gasol and a Lamar Odom, right? And an Andrew Bynum. How soon do we forget about that shit? that Kobe Bean Bryant was putting that team on his back and expanding his game and doing all the things of that nature, right? But I say all that to say Kobe got it out the mud. See, a lot of people tend to forget or try to act like everything was handed to a Kobe Bean Bryant because he came out of high school. But would you believe me if I were to tell you, if y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, whenever Kobe first came into the league, into the NBA, that man didn't play. He couldn't even sniff the goddamn court because he was playing behind the likes of a Nick Van Exel. He was playing behind the likes of an Eddie Jones. He was playing behind the likes of a Rick Fox. You understand what I'm saying? His rookie mate and Derek Fisher even got more playing time than Kobe Bean Bryant. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? So Kobe had to grow into every single thing that he became in the basketball court. And now we already know the man, the myth, the legend, God bless him, the dead, him and Gigi. But the man is one of the greatest players to ever play the motherfucking game. And in my honest opinion, he's number 2. He's right behind Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Yeah, I said it. And that's for all you fucking Kobe haters and niggas that don't know shit about basketball, because it's a lot of people that love to put LeBron over Kobe. Why? I don't fucking know. I don't see it. I mean, LeBron is great. LeBron was the man coming right out of high school. I will admit that. But I just feel like for me, whenever they were both at their peaks, I'm going with Kobe Bean Bryant because I know it kills him to lose. And the same thing can be said about that man from North Omaha, Nebraska, Terence Bud Crawford, which is one of the reasons why I have Bud in this upcoming fight with Errol Spence, because I know Errol is a dog. We know Errol is a dog. I would never sit up here and say that Errol Spence isn't an alpha male. I would never sit up here and say that Errol Spence isn't a dog. But Errol Spence, as good as he is in the ring, and like he said, he does damn near everything right outside of moving his head, outside of using a lot of footwork and shit like that, which he really ain't had the opportunity to do so because nobody has made him do this shit, right? It goes back to my analogy whenever I talk about playing the Madden online. When you run into a motherfucking cheeser that's running these goddamn cheap-ass RPO plays that you can't stop, and you just got like, goddamn, I'm just throwing my controller in there. Like, what the fuck? You gonna do this shit all game? You goddamn skippy. You're playing a nigga online, probably somewhere in Bucharest, that fucking cheats all goddamn day doing the same thing. And I'm not saying Errol is cheating, but I'm just using that as an analogy. Errol will jab you to death if you let him. Errol Spence will hit you below the belt if you let him. If you're going to keep letting the motherfucker do this shit, he is going to continue to do it. Period. End of discussion. Now back to the point at hand. But yeah, man, you got to put some more respect on Terence Bud Crawford's name. I mean, it's one thing to throw the man under the bus and say that he was stalling negotiations and he was stalling his fight, even though, you know, he was waiting on you for 45 years. So, I mean, a couple of months or a year go by of negotiation. I mean, oh, please don't make me fucking fart, Earl. I mean, the man was waiting on you this whole goddamn time. So the least you can do is have some decency to say, hey, man, at least he got us a fucking guarantee now. At least he got us a guarantee of 8 figures. So that means they're going to make at least 10 million apiece. Now, granted, I don't know what the split is now. I don't know if Errol is going to get a little more. I think he should, and rightfully so, because Errol Spence is the A side. Errol Spence has done the bigger pay-per-view numbers. I'm not taking anything away from Errol Spence, but I mean, goddamn, can you congratulate the man, or just better yet, don't even do that. Just don't throw him under the bus. But whenever you go talking about, oh, I'm the Tim Duncan because I got all the fundamentals. I got the jab. I got the hooks. You understand what I'm saying? I got the sharp uppercuts a la the Jordanis Ugas fight when he was beating the shit out of Jordanis Ugas, who was just basically, to me, because I didn't watch that fight like 10 times within the last 2 days. Jordanis Ugas was a punching bag with hands. Jordanis Ugas was using footwork in rounds 1 and 2, I believe. And then for some odd reason, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the body shots. I don't know if it was the relentless pressure. I don't know if it was the thudding, sharp uppercuts to the head over that fucking orbital bone. I mean, oh my God. Errol Spence put on an offensive clinic. But one of the things I noticed in that fight that I've been watching time and time again, and I got a bunch of clips, and I'm going to put together a video. Hopefully it don't get flagged, but I'm going to showcase my motherfucking boxing IQ and break both of these guys' strengths and weaknesses down. And I'm going to start with Errol Spence because I noticed in that fight, just mainly this fight in particular, Errol Spence was very fucking sloppy. Although he was great offensively, hats off to him. If I had to give him a letter grade, I would give him an A- for the Jordanis Ugas fight, because it was a lot of times in that fight where he was reaching and swinging, and you understand what I'm saying? Getting caught in inopportune positions. And hell, you can go look at one of the clips on my motherfucking IG. See, I uploaded it there because I didn't want to get flagged because, you know, I got a lot of haters on YouTube. Niggas that be biting my shit and hating and shit, flagging my channel. That's why I ain't got no super chat no more. But it is what it is. It comes with the territory. But if you go follow me at eThriller, aka the Black Picasso on IG, I got it in my description. You can go look at that clip. It was one point in time in that fight. I forget the round. But Errol Spence tried to catch Yordenis Ugas with a straight left, and he whiffed on a punch. Yordenis Ugas slipped underneath it. He rolled. He touched him with the right hand to the body. And then Errol Spence, being a smart fighter that he is, he already knew what was fucking coming. He said, oh, shit. His eyes kind of got buckled up. He's looking at his peripherals. I hope that ain't the motherfucking lacerated eye that he was getting dinged on the count, but he was looking at his peripherals and saying, damn, I can't avoid this motherfucking punch. Let me just tense up because I know it's coming. And Ugas hit that motherfucker with a sharp left uppercut. And we all know Yordenis Ugas is very fucking pillow-fisted. He is very pillow-fisted, right? Man can't bust a fucking grape, right? Man got 12 knockouts, if I'm not mistaken. Fact check me. I mean, I ain't got box record, but y'all can fact check me on that. And while y'all doing that, can y'all please put some respect on my like button, dog? I got 102 people in here, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But can y'all please do y'all due diligence and hit my goddamn like button? Because once I get the likes up to 100, I'm going to finish saying what I got to say. I'm going to read some comments because y'all know how I play. I'm a man of the people. And then I'm going to drop the link and let y'all come on the rock. Whether y'all agree or disagree with me, I really don't give a fuck about none of that. Once again, it makes for a better show. But can y'all please hit my goddamn like button? Damn.
Nigga be all online, have y'all laughing and shit. You don't even want to spend $9. You don't want to buy one song for $128. Get the fuck right now. But you always want to come on my live and look at me. But you always want, but you can't spend $1.50 on a song.
Man, but back to what I was saying. Shout out to my nigga Boosie, man. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The point at hand is Errol Spence was very sloppy in that fight, y'all. And I'm not saying that he's not going to be on his A game against Terence Crawford, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. We know it's going to be some sort of ring rust, and I hate to say that because I'm just giving the Errol-sexuals a built-in excuse to use whenever I predict Terence Crawford to do whatever the fuck I've been predicting him to do, which is to send that motherfucker to Nebraska Furniture Mart, right? I can hear the excuse to say, oh, he didn't get a tune-up. Oh, he stayed at the wait too long. Oh, it was the car wreck. Oh, it was the lacerated eye and all this extra goofy ass shit. I can hear it now. But I'm just being honest and objective about my assessment on Errol Spence and Terence Bud Crawford, right? So there has to be some sort of ring rust coming into one of the biggest fights in the history known to man in the sport of boxing, right? So one can only surmise. I'm just going to assume because this is not a fact. This is just my personal opinion. I believe Errol Spence might be whiffing on a lot of shots, and he can't afford to do that with a sharp-ass counterpuncher like Terence Bud Crawford, y'all. He can't be doing that shit that he was doing against Yordenis Ugas. He going to get his fucking shag knocked off. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell you. But on the flip side, Terence Bud Crawford, I'm going to do a better breakdown of this shit. Once again, I'm going to do a couple of videos on this shit. But Terence Bud Crawford has got to be on his A game too. He can't be in the ring playing and loafing around and trying to prove a point. No motherfucking bud. You got to do what you do best, which is box. We don't need you trying to get into exchanges and trying to see who has the most hair on their chest and who the fucking biggest macho man, who is the biggest puncher and shit like that. We need you to be on your back foot trying to set traps for Errol Spence to lure him in to catch him with that check right hook or left, because I've been watching your fights too, bud. And hey, man, I think you might want to come out and orthodox and stay orthodox more so in this fight. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Errol Spence, if you go back and look at that Kell Brook fight, Errol Spence is very susceptible to the motherfucking overhand right after he throws the jab. And I think timing is going to be the key to beating Errol Spence Jr. because Errol Spence is a rhythm fighter, but so is Terence Bud Crawford. But Errol Spence, once he get into that rhythm, I said it before and I say it again, he just keep chugging along, chick, 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 two, in my Major Pain voice. He just keep chugging along. He's like a locomotive. He's going to swarm you with volume. He's going to keep pumping the jab until he finds his way on the inside. And we all know Errol Spence is at his absolute best whenever he fights on the inside. So I say all that to say, Terence Bud Crawford, we need you to be smart. We don't need you to try to prove something to the world, because I'm going to be honest, some of these same motherfuckers that's already rolling with this narrative of Terence Bud Crawford doesn't have the legs anymore to beat an Errol Spence. Terence Bud Crawford doesn't use his feet like he did against Victor Postol, E-Thriller. Yeah. Terence Bud Crawford can't box the way that he used to box against the Bradis Prescott. But wouldn't it be funny and very fucking ironic if Terence Bud Crawford goes out there and do what I'm trying to say that he should do, and just go out there and be on his toes and box? You understand what I'm saying? Move, give him different angles, switch in between stances just to frustrate Errol Spence and make him reset. And whenever Errol Spence does get on the inside, tie his ass up, put him in one of the motherfucking Cobra clutches in the UFC or some of that wrestling shit that you learned back in Omaha, right? And then make him reset and do it all over again. And I can guarantee you, I want y'all to clip this. What's today's day? This is June the 8th, Thursday. Y'all clip this, man. At what time is it? 10:20. I can guarantee y'all, if Terence Bud Crawford goes out there and just strictly boxes Errol Spence to a decision, you already know what the haters are going to say, right? Oh, he ran the whole fucking fight. Even though these will be the same motherfuckers that's been saying, I've been hearing on months on top of months, that Terence Bud Crawford legs ain't been the same since he moved to 147. That Terence Bud Crawford likes to exchange and fight more so medium to mid-range or on the inside nowadays. I lied to David Avenesian fight, but I went back and watched that fight again. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Yeah, he wasn't bouncing on his toes and moving around the ring a lot, but Terence Crawford was doing little subtle movements, moving from left to right laterally, slowly backing up, trying to bait him into some shit. And then whenever he got tired and said, fuck it, I'm ready to go kick it at this after party, let me go ahead and send this nigga to sleep experts. That's exactly what the fuck happened, right? That's exactly what the fuck happened. But for all you Neanderthals, they keep lying to try to create these narratives as if he don't use his legs and he didn't use his legs against Porter. And I'm like, well, what the fuck fight was y'all watching? Because the man back never hardly ever touched the ropes, because every time Sean Porter lost discipline, and I did a live fight party, y'all can go back and fact check me, because I saw this shit coming. I seen the play from a mile away. I said at some point in this fight, Sean Porter is going to throw away the game plan from K. Diddy and go back to what he's accustomed to doing, which is getting in the three-point stance. You understand what I'm saying? Downset hood and bum rushing motherfucking Terence Bud Crawford, right? And whenever he started doing that, that's when he started getting dinged on, and he ended up getting knocked down twice in the same fucking round. And the man was so frustrated to the point where he was looking at the corner like, damn, are you going to throw it at the towel? Because I'm sick of getting hit with this shit. You understand what I'm saying? I'm getting hit with 2s and 3s and 1s and uppercuts, and oh my God, one of my braids fucked up on the left side. I mean, KD, can you do something? Can you do something? Because the boogeyman is whooping my ass right now. That's what I took from the fight. That's at least what I took. I know a lot of people said that Sean Porter was washed up. I know a lot of people said, oh, he wasn't the same as the Sean Porter that fought Errol Spence because he was thinking about retirement. But my thing is this. My nigga, he got paid handsomely to fight Terence Bud Crawford. And to make matters worse, I mean, the last time I checked, this is just me. I'm just going by the facts. The last time I checked, he was the nigga that was calling out Bud. It wasn't the other way around. He was the nigga that was bitching and moaning whenever he got leapfrog by Virgil Ortiz in the WBO rankings, and he went on a little live saying, oh, you know, it's politics and boxing, and I don't understand how this happened and all that. So he was crying and bitching and moaning and pandering for a fight with Terence Bud Crawford. And a lot of you Errol-sexuals and a lot of you Terence Crawford haters who just can't stand nothing about it. I mean, a man can't even fart in public or you're going to criticize him, right? Even if you don't smell it, you still will find something to criticize the great Terence Bud Crawford about. Even you niggas was saying, look, man, we don't want to see him rematch Errol, even though it was an excellent fucking fight. I mean, an excellent fight. I would have loved to see a rematch between Errol Spence Jr. and Sean Porter, because I feel like going into that fight, Errol Spence was going to stop Sean Porter. I felt like going into that fight, me being an Errol Spence fan at the time, a huge one at that Errol Spence was just on another level compared to Sean Porter. But whenever he got in that ring and he started trying to fight a fight that really didn't serve him well or serve him best or to the game plan of a Derrick James, I was like, well, wait a fucking minute. I wouldn't mind seeing this again, because if it wasn't for that knockdown, what was that, in round 10 or 11? That fight could have went a totally different way. It's a lot of people that still think, even with the knockdown, that Sean Porter won that fight, right? Okay, but I'm not one of them. I'm one of the niggas that say, look, man, Errol Spence edged that fight out 7-5. It's a lot of people that say Errol Spence won the fight easily, 8 rounds to 4. Just kind of depend on your taste on it. But I say all that to say, a lot of you niggas was putting Sean Porter off on Terence Crawford because y'all was using him as some sort of measuring stick, right? Just like the PBC. Al Heyman allowed for Sean Porter to go on a quote-unquote other side of the street to get his biggest fucking payday of $4 million with pay-per-view upside, right? Just to go get his ass kicked by Terence Crawford. So they wanted to gauge to see, okay, well, if he did this with him, then maybe are we willing to put Earl in there? All right. You understand what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. I don't know that to be a fact, but that's just my take on the situation. Hold on, y'all. Hot as fuck in my room. Can y'all please hit my like button? I got 112 people in here with 72 likes. Maybe if I lower my tone, maybe some of y'all will hit the goddamn like button, man. I appreciate everybody in this bitch, man. Shout out to all 112 of y'all. But can y'all put some respect on my like button, dog? Run them likes up to 100, damn near 200, 300. Can we please get my likes up? But yeah, man. So I would have loved to see a rematch between Errol Spence and Sean Porter, but it didn't work out that way. So all you niggas that was bitching and moaning, saying Bud was ducking Porter and all this, now y'all want to change your tune and say that he was washed up and, oh, didn't nobody want to see that fight and, oh, Sean Porter was this and Sean Porter was that. He was podcasting. He wasn't focused. He was having some shit that was going on in his personal life. Like, I give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about none of that. And stop the presses. Stop the motherfucking presses. I just got a notification, y'all, which is always lovely, and it just makes my soul just feel so good just to get paid to do what you love to do, which is entertain, which is talk sports. To all my motherfuckers in the wood pack, shout out to y'all, man. And if you're new to the channel, please sub up and hit that like button. But shout out to my big homie, Goldie Loke, you know who you are, for that Cash App donation. And you already know, I got to get you right, fam. Hit it!
Get a black, get a black.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Goldie Lowe, aka Mr. Golden, aka Mr. Maceo. Shout out to the big homie on the panel, man. Don't come on here fucking with me, Mr. Golden. Don't come on here fucking with me now. I know how you play. You come on cussing the nigga out and on his own shit. But shout out to Mr. Golden, man. Salute. Now back to what I was saying. But yeah, just to get back to this point of Errol Spence talking about this whole basketball thing, I mean, if you're going to compare somebody to Bud to somebody, you got to put some respect on his name. You got to compare this nigga to Kobe. Bud is Kobe. Bud demands respect the same way that Kobe did. You understand what I'm saying? Bud instills fear in the competition, similar to Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant. Y'all can say what y'all want about him because he was very standoffish with the media. Very similar to a guy by the name of Terence Crawford. I mean, I'm just presenting the facts. They are very similar. So if you're just looking at it from a skill set, then you want to say Kevin Garnett, all right, whatever. I mean, KG was a great player, but he wasn't a fucking winner. And we all know Bud has several lineal championships. We all know that Bud has been undisputed at 140 pounds. You understand what I'm saying? We all know that Bud is a KO artist. He's very exciting. He can box. He uses the sweet science and he knocks motherfuckers out. You feel what I'm saying? So you get the best of both worlds, kind of like Kobe. Kobe was very flashy, but Kobe also had a lot of fundamentals. Kobe, to me, in my personal opinion, I know a lot of motherfuckers gonna disagree, but I'm just gonna put it out there because I'm one of them niggas that I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what the fuck you need to hear. That's the biggest difference between Go Thriller and the rest of these motherfuckers on YouTube. And in my honest opinion, being a basketball connoisseur, Kobe Bean Bryant is the most skilled player I have ever seen touch the basketball. And I'm not being biased. I've seen this man pull off moves that I've never seen before. I've seen the man trapped in a corner on the baseline behind the three-point line. He take 2 or 3 dribbles, reverse pivot, spin, and hit a motherfucking contested 3 falling out of bounds in his bench. I've seen Kobe Bean Bryant trapped on the motherfucking elbow. I wish I could show y'all the clips of what I'm talking about, but I know y'all have seen this shit, right? But I've seen him step through defenders, reverse pivot, throw it off the glass, jump up, grab the rebound, and lay it up, or do the same goddamn thing and throw a no-look to Paul Gasol. Like, the shit, he was just, his instincts is what I'm basically trying to say. His basketball instincts. And to compare him to a Bud, because we heard what the great Teddy Atlas always have to say about Terence Bud Crawford. He says he's probably the most instinctful fighter he has ever seen in the sport of boxing. And that's saying a lot because we got a lot of greats, and I'm no boxing historian. I'm not a nigga that's going to come on my channel or going on other people's channels acting like I know everything about the sport of boxing, because I do not. I'm willing to say that I ain't one of these know-it-all niggas on YouTube. I'm willing to listen to motherfuckers who have way more knowledge about the sport than me, right? So I say all that to say, look, man, Kobe was doing some amazing shit, but so does Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford does a lot of amazing shit that he don't get credit for because of his opposition. But wasn't there a narrative floating around for the earlier part of Kobe's career that he couldn't win without Shaq? I mean, nobody else had to deal with this fucking narrative. Magic didn't have to deal with that shit whenever it came to Kareem because he never won without Kareem. He never won without motherfucking James Worthy. He never won without Byron Scott and motherfucking Michael Thompson and all this shit. He didn't win without these and Michael Cooper. He didn't win without these dudes. But Magic never got that label. Or what about motherfucking Isaiah Thomas? He ain't never get the, oh, you can't win without Dumars. Oh, you can't win without Vinnie Johnson. Oh, you can't win without Dennis Rodman or motherfucking Bill Laimbeer and McGuire and shit like that. He didn't get them labels. You understand what I'm saying? And fast forward to the great Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who is the GOAT. Yeah, I said it. But the facts are the facts. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this shit, but I'm the type of nigga, once again, that's going to say what y'all need to hear. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, as great as he was in the 80s, dropping and averaging 30 points and 50 points and 60-point games in the playoffs on the fucking Bird Celtics and Kevin McHale and Danny Ainge and Dennis Johnson. Michael Jeffrey Jordan wasn't winning shit until Scottie Pippen was ready to help. Period. End of discussion. I don't give a fuck what y'all try to say. I don't care how y'all try to diminish the great Scottie Pippen, even though we know he's a motherfucking hater. Yeah, I said it because he's been saying a lot of stupid ass shit as of late. And we all know what that's about because Michael Jordan's son is with his ex-wife. So we know what this shit, we know what the animosity is about. We know what the vitriol is about because everywhere he look and turn, he's just seeing Michael Jeffrey Jordan's son with his baby mama. And then he always plays second fiddle to the great Jeffrey Jordan. So he's just looking like, damn, like this motherfucker has just fucked up everything. I don't get no credit because of this guy. So for him to sit up there and say that Michael Jordan was a terrible player, that Michael Jordan took bad shots, when in fact, Michael Jordan was very fucking efficient to shoot the ball as much as he did. Michael Jordan basically averaged a field goal percentage of 50% for his career. So Scottie Pippen, what in the flying fuck? What kind of weed are you smoking? I wait. I fucking wait. You see, I'm not even going to use the term hating anymore because when niggas start hating now, I'm going to say, man, you need to stop pipping. You need to stop pipping, man, because this shit is ridiculous. But back to what I was saying. But Kobe had to deal with the naysayers and people saying that he couldn't do this and he couldn't wheel without Shaq and he's selfish and he's arrogant and he's cocky. All the same shit that a Bud Crawford deals with in boxing. Isn't that something? So if you're going to make a fucking comparison to the great Terence Bud Crawford, one of the most athletically gifted fighters the sport has ever seen, one of the most fundamentally sound, even though he does tend to back up in a straight line from time to time. Now, that part about his game on defense scares me. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like, excuse me, pardon y'all, that Terence Crawford don't get caught flush with some shots. But this is another thing I don't understand. And I kind of wanted to do a show on this at a later date, but fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now. You got fucking little smucks like Teofimo Lopez, of all people, trying to run around here and say that the great Terence Bud Crawford is chinny. But my nigga, if Terence Crawford is chinny, what would we say about your chin? I'll wait. I will fucking wait. Because, I mean, the last time I checked, if my memory serves me correct, you got dropped by George Kambosos, right? You got dropped. You got dropped by Sandor Martin, a motherfucker that can't punch, right? So how dare you to compare, or not even compare, but to say that, oh, I'm picking Errol Spence because Terence Crawford is chinny, when we've only seen Bud hit the canvas one fucking time unofficially. And there's still a lot of Bud buddies running around here saying that it really wasn't knocked down. You know what? It just kind of depends on how you look at it. I feel like he got caught flush. And he was getting pushed down to a certain extent. But to me, in my personal opinion, it was a knockdown, but he wasn't hurt. It wasn't, it's not a big deal to me. It's not really a big deal. But I've seen Bud take flush shots from Porter. I've seen Bud take flush shots from a multitude of fighters, but I've never seen him rock and stun. I mean, the most hurt I've seen him appear to be was against Gamboa. But that's about it. I mean, outside of that, I can't really think of no other times where I seen Bud get the fucking stanky leg or the fucking noodle legs. That's just me. I don't see it. Maybe y'all can educate me. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe there's a little hyperbole in my statements. Let me know, because I'm open to other opinions and ideas. But I don't think Terence Crawford is chinny, because to me, a chinny fighter is a motherfucker that hits the canvas a lot or very often. And I ain't seen Bud hitting the canvas a lot outside of the Igor Kavalauskas fight, which was how many fights ago? What was it? 3 fights ago, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, y'all. He fought David Avanesian. Before that, he fought Sean Showtime Porter. Then he fought Kell Brook. And then he fought Kavalauskas. Okay, so yeah. So, and then, I mean, before that, shit, it was Gamboa, and that was years ago. So I don't even know why he's calling people chinny, but I'll tell you one motherfucking thing. I got T.O. Y'all know I hate T.O., so maybe I'm not being objective. Maybe I'm not being biased, but I'm trying to be, unbiased, but I'm trying to be in this fucking fight. But I got Josh Taylor stopping Teofimo Lopez, because I don't think he's mentally there. He's a fucking idiot. Y'all, like the shit that Teofimo Lopez has to be the corniest boxer I've ever heard grace the microphone. And I know there's a lot of people that's going to say, Thriller, you're reaching. And I got Keith Thurman. I got Deontay Wilder. There's a lot of ways you can go with this shit. I get it. I hear y'all. But some of the shit that Teofimo say, it just makes me cringe, man. It's like, what are you talking about? What kind of theory is there? What kind of philosophy? How does this correlate to the topic at hand? You can tell that Teofimo is one of the motherfuckers that really don't think before he speak. Like, he don't think about shit. He just go. He's important. Like, he's all over the place. It's like his mind is just going 200 miles per hour. He just say whatever the first thing comes to his fucking brain. That's Teofimo Lopez in a nutshell. And his father don't make it no better, because he gives him this false sense of confidence and all this mystique and allure just because they beat a Vasily Lomachenko. When I can make an argument that, hey, bro, you would have got stopped if that fight would have lasted one more round. Yeah, I said it. Vasily Lomachenko, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because of his shoulder or he was, a little worried about your motherfucking pop at 135, because you was sleeping shit. I got to give you credit to yo. And I picked you to win that fight, heading into that fight. Y'all go back and fact check me. But I don't know what it was, fam. But Lomachenko started off slow. But once he started gaining steam and got your rhythm down and your patterns and started getting on the inside and giving you them angles, them same fucking angles he was giving the great Devin Haney, the undisputed champion at 135 a couple of weeks ago, you started breaking down. You started to fold like a motherfucking lunch. I'm just saying. And I think if that fight would have went one more round, you would have got stopped, bro. You would have got stopped. And you always talking about, oh, you willing to die for this, and oh, you willing to do this to take over this and to take over that. My nigga, wasn't you the same dude that was running around here bitching and moaning about having pneumonia? Wasn't you that same guy that was running around here after the George Kambosos fight, the same fight in which you said you was, because you were so fucking punch drunk, you claim that you won 11 rounds to 3 or 11 rounds to 2? Nigga, y'all don't even go 13 rounds. It's 12 rounds in the fight, T.O. You understand what I'm saying? The audacity of this motherfucking Neanderthal. And stop the presses. Stop the motherfucking presses. Shout out to my guy, man. This is a huge Errol Spence fan, but he still fuck with me, man. Shout out to my guy, Byron Bradley, for that Cash App donation. He said, I'm on EJ's side, but I support you, my G. Hey, man, that's love. And you see that, man? My nigga Byron, he don't take what I say personal. He don't take it seriously. He don't get mad and butt hurt and run off and do all this other extra shit and say, fuck you, Thriller. I ain't subscribing to your channel no more. I ain't gonna hit the goddamn like button. You feel what I'm saying? He don't do none of that. Shout out to my real Errol Spence fans, man, who don't get in their fucking feelings, because all I'm doing is just popping my shit. I root for Bud. I rock for Bud, but I try to be honest, objective, and unbiased as I possibly can. You feel what I'm saying? But shout out to you, man. You already know I got to get you right, fam. Appreciate you.
Get a black, 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 fuck 'em up. Then what? Turn up. Then what?
Yeah, man. And speaking of get right, man, can y'all get my likes up? Can y'all please get my goddamn likes up? I got 125 people in here with 93 likes. I really appreciate each and everybody for rocking with your boy E Thriller, aka Go Thriller, aka the Black Picasso. But when you pull up to the function, can you please hit the like button because it helps the channel grow? You understand what I'm saying? We want to grow the motherfucking wolf pack, man. But shout out to my boy Byron Bradley. But back to what I was saying. So the nerve of Teofimo Lopez to say that Terence Crawford is chinny, but totally negate the fact that, nigga, you chinny too. So what are you going to do when Josh Taylor crack you with one of the motherfucking straight left hands? Because we know Josh Taylor, say what y'all want about him, and we know he didn't look too good against Jake Catterall and shit like that. But, hey, man, I think the man is motivated, and I think he genuinely don't like Teofimo Lopez, and he feels the same way I do because he's just he just seems like a nerd. He seems like a geek. I don't like nothing about him. I don't like how he talks. I don't like how he walks. I don't like how he wears his hat. I don't like how his nose looks. I don't like nothing about I'm willing to say who I don't like. I hate Teofimo Lopez because to me, he represents everything I hate about the sport of boxing. All these silly ass niggas running around here lying and capping. Oh, I was undisputed. Oh, I could have got 10 million to fight George Kambosos. That's why I'm not going to fight Devin Haney. And then after you get your ass kicked, now you want to bitch and moan and say, oh, well, I should have moved up. Oh, it was my confidence. Oh, I was too arrogant and all this shit. But nigga, you wasn't saying that before the motherfucking fight. You weren't saying none of that because if you was going to have that built-in excuse after you got your ass washed, yeah, I said it, by George Kambosos, then you should have just moved up to begin with because we all know deep down in your heart of hearts, you didn't want any parts of Devin Haney because say what y'all want about Devin Haney. Devin Haney is a matchup nightmare for Teofimo Lopez. I'm just saying because Teofimo was bitching and moaning and complaining about Martin running and moving around the ring. But nigga, the name of the game is to hit and not get hit. I mean, the last time I checked, that's what makes the sweet science so beautiful. Most of the people don't want to see no goddamn rock'em sock'ems and shit like that. I mean, the true connoisseurs of the sport of boxing, right? But Teofimo Lopez, I got you getting stopped, bro. I see this fight going 10 rounds. This is my prediction, y'all. And I'm going to have mosquito spray. Shout out to AKA Eddie Atlas, my brother, the boxing historian on my panel and on YouTube. I'm going to have him break this down in depth tomorrow if he's not too busy to come on the rock. I'm going live again tomorrow, so make sure everybody in the chat right now pull right back up to the function. I'm going live at 9:30. We're going to break down the fight. We're going to watch the Adrian Broner fight. Shout out to AB. You know, always balling, always boxing, about billions. Shout out to my nigga AB, man. I got a love-hate relationship with him. I root for him, but he do a lot of shit that pissed me the fuck off because I just feel like he wasn't dedicated to the sport enough. He wasn't dedicated, man. AB didn't know if he wanted to be a gangster. AB didn't know if he wanted to be a rapper. AB didn't know if he wanted to be a boxer. AB didn't know if he wanted to be a porn star. AB didn't know if he wanted to be a comedian. AB didn't know what the fuck he wanted to do because he was so talented. I mean, granted, he's very fucking entertaining. At one point in time, I hope y'all sitting down for this, but AB was the guy at the PBC. Facts, he Thriller facts. But man, oh man, the man that signed with Duncan King, God bless him. I hope everything works out for him. I heard him say the other day that he's looking for a fight with Regis Prograis. Now, today I just watched the weigh-in. He came in right at 147. I didn't know this fight was even going to be at 147. So how in the fuck is Adrian Broner, a guy that's been so undisciplined, so undedicated to his craft, going to be able to get down to 140 pounds? Y'all let me know in the chat. Do y'all think it's realistic? I'm rooting for the guy. I'm not shitting on him, but y'all know me. I'm going to say what y'all need to hear, not what the fuck y'all want to hear. I'm not a fanboy of these motherfucking fighters. So I want y'all to let me know in the chat. Do y'all think it's realistic for Adrian Broner to make it to 140 pounds? Y'all let me know. Y'all drop some threes in the chat or y'all drop some ones to say hell no because I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope he can do it. But then again, even if he do make it down to 140, I don't see him beating a Regis Prograis. Hell, I don't see AB beating any of those fucking top guys at 140 because right now that's one of the motherfucking murderous road divisions. You understand what I'm saying? You got Matias, you got Prograis, you got Taylor, you got Catterall. I love Catterall. You got motherfucking Gary Russell Jr. or Gary Russell, whichever one. I get them mixed up, but the one with the braids, you got him. You got Devin Haney possibly moving up to 140. I know Devin Haney called out AB in the past. You got Ryan Kardashian, oops, I'm in Garcia with his capping ass, moving back up to 140. So you got a lot of talented fighters in or around that weight class. And I really don't know how Adrian Broner is going to hold up against the likes of those individuals. But I would love to see what he's going to look like tomorrow night. He has to be impressive, man. I mean, in order to win me back over and say, you know what, maybe he can make some noise. Maybe he hasn't lost a step or two after that Maidana fight. AB, you got to do what everybody beg you to do, bro. You got to let your motherfucking hands go. You got to let your hands go, fam. You are a professional boxer. We love the theatrics. We love how you showboat. We love the flashy ass robes and shades, you know, the buffs that you come out with the diamonds, and you understand what I'm saying? And in the fly ass shorts, in the shoes and shit like that, the boots. But my nigga, all that shit, all that flash needs some sort of substance. We want to be entertained before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight. So you got the before and after down pat. Like nobody can take that away from you. Say what you want about Adrian Broner, but he's one of the most entertaining motherfuckers in the sport. Still, he will always have a job in being a podcaster or being a fucking boxing analysis because he knows his shit, right? But AB in the ring, my brother. I say this from the bottom of my heart. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not being facetious. I am a fan of you. But you got to let your hands go, bro. This is the last straw, bro. This is your last hurrah with me. I can't speak for nobody else. I don't know how y'all feel about AB, but I was very disappointed in this last fight against Giovanni Santiago because I felt like you lost that fight, AB. I'm just saying, and I was rooting for you, bro, but I couldn't make a case for you beating that guy. I couldn't. I don't know how they scored it, a draw, whatever the case may be. No, matter of fact, I think it was a win. I think they let you win that fight. How? I don't fucking know. But it is what it is. But tomorrow night, bro, you got to be impressive. You got to get the fans back in tune. You got to make the people want to know what you're doing because right now, you're a fucking afterthought. You're an afterthought. You used to be the guy that Errol Spence looked up to. You used to be a guy that a Gervonta Tank Davis looked up to. You used to be a guy that a Robert Easter Jr. looked up to when you was on top, right? I mean, tell me where I told a lie. Make it make sense. Somebody help me. Let me know in the chat if I'm lying. But AB used to be that guy. But my nigga, you're not the guy anymore. You're not. A lot of people are saying that your brother, Gervonta Tank Davis, is the new face of boxing. A lot of people feel like Errol Spence is one of, if not the biggest stars at the PBC. He's right up there with Tank and Deontay Wilder. How can I forget about him? They 1, 2, and 3, however y'all want to do it, really don't matter. But the point is, AB, you're out of the picture, my brother. You're no longer with the PBC. You don't have the backing of a Floyd Money Mayweather. You don't even have the backing of a BLK Prime. I don't know what happened with that. I know fighters kept dropping out for various different reasons, so I'm not going to pin that on you. That's not none of your fault. Shit happens. It's life. You got to move forward. But you ended up with Don King, and a lot of people wasn't even watching that fucking press conference. A lot of people wasn't even watching the motherfucking weigh-in today. I mean, hell, right now, I'm not even trying to be funny. I have more people watching me now than the people that was watching your fucking weigh-in earlier today. I mean, I'm just saying. So I say all that to say, bro, you got to get your swag back. You got to get back in your bag. And in order to do that, you got to prove to the world that this dude don't need to be. I don't even know who you fighting. You said he's a lawyer. You're fighting Sachs because you're ghost and all this other funny ass shit. Kudos to you. Phenomenal soundbite. But you got to back this shit up in the ring because you can't be calling this dude a lawyer and then you get in the ring and you let this motherfucking compete with the Adrian Broner, the great Adrian Broner that you used to be. You can't be doing this shit, y'all. You can't do this, bro. Let me know if I told a lie in the chat. I'm looking for something. Man. But anyway, man, I'm about to read some comments. I'm missing 2 likes. I mean, can one of y'all 7 people that's in the chat that's just in this hole being a peeping Tom, can y'all hit my like button so I can start reading these comments? And the sooner I read these comments, the sooner I can drop the link and let everybody come on and pop their shit. That's what I do. That's how I play in the Wolfpack. But yeah, man, back to the comments I go. It's telling me I got 154 comments. Shout out to everybody, man. I ain't gonna be able to read all of them, but I would do my absolute best to read all the good comments rather than if I skip over you, it ain't personal. I'm just trying to skim through this shit, man. But can y'all please hit my like button? That's personal. I'm still missing 8 likes, but back to the comments I go. Hold on, y'all. Starting from the top. Bear with me. I appreciate everybody in the chat. All right. Christopher White says, salute E3. What's popping? How are you, kind sir? What up to my guy Walter Tran, who is an Errol Spence fan as well, man. Shout out to you, my brother. He said Crawford can't keep up with Spence. He would be drowned in the deep waters. I've been hearing a lot of y'all say that, man. I've also been hearing a lot of y'all banking on all this power and volume and, you know, endurance and things of that nature. And y'all just basically hoping for Terence Crawford to fold up like a quilt, like a cheap quilt. And I just don't see the tenacious Terence Bud Crawford, a guy that is so fucking mean and dedicated and conditioned with endurance and power and stamina, because I've never seen him get tired in the fight either, just like Errol Spence. I don't see him folding. I want to know this. This is my rebuttal to that. What's going to happen if that doesn't work for Errol Spence? What is going to be his plan B? If Errol Spence volume, punch activity, punch placement, and his jab and all that shit, all his fucking go-to moves, what if that shit doesn't work? What is his plan B? Draw something in the chat, Walter, because I would love to know. I ain't even trying to be funny. What up to one of my day ones, WJ? He said, salute, Go Thriller in the Wolf Pack. Errol doesn't understand. TD will get schooled by KG in a one-on-one game. I don't know about that, bro. I think in a one-on-one situation, I think I would pick Tim Duncan. In a one-on-one situation, because I think Tim Duncan will be more inclined to stopping Kevin Garnett opposed to Kevin Garnett stopping Tim Duncan, if that makes sense. Because I just think Tim Duncan had a little bit more in his game. He had the bank shot, the jump hooks. He can shoot jumpers. He can make free throws. He can hit threes on occasions, pick and pops, play one-on-one. He can go coast to coast with the toast if need be. Smart fucking player. I can even make a case that he was a better defender than Kevin Garnett. I know a lot of people will argue that. It's very debatable, but I'm going to make a case for Tim Duncan because I feel like Tim Duncan is just a better player. And I like Kevin Garnett more, but Tim Duncan was a better player. That's just my opinion. Shout out to the BLB Master Q, man. He said threes. What's popping, fam? How are you, kind sir? What up, Anton? He said, let's go, bud. What's popping? Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. I had to check on my son. But yeah, shout out to Anton, man. What up, DeMarcus? He said Earl finna get his predictable ass KO. Yeah, man. A lot of people say that Errol Spence's attack is very predictable. And I agree to a certain extent. He is very predictable. And to my point earlier, like if you allow Errol Spence to do the same shit, he gonna keep doing it over and over, bro. Facts are the facts. Shout out to you, though. What up, Wario? He said, hi, what's popping? How are you? Shout out to my dog Boxing Nerd 101 from Canada. He said, what's good, E3? Earl Donut Head compared to Terence to Kevin Garnett. That's a stupid comparison. It's more like Crawford is more LeBron. Nah, I wouldn't even say Crawford is LeBron because Crawford isn't a freak of nature, so to speak. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, he has the long arms. I believe he has a 74-inch reach or some shit like that. He's southpaw, super athletic, but I wouldn't compare Bud to LeBron. And then they don't even have the same personality because LeBron is a very fucking friendly guy. It's one of the qualities that I hate about LeBron the most is the fact that he's so friendly and he's happy-go-lucky during the games. He's giving high fives. He's talking to benches, whereas opposed to a guy like Kobe, who is my favorite athlete of all time, he's mean mugging. He's giving a Kobe scowl. He looking pissed off all the time. He ain't here to be your friend. We seen the clips with Matt Barnes trying to put the ball in his face and Kobe didn't flinch. See, to me, Terence Crawford is more like that, so to speak. You feel what I'm saying, Boxing Nerd? But I appreciate your opinion, my brother. It's always welcome. Is that Stephen Brimley? I think it is. He said, what's popping? 3, what's popping? How are you, kind sir? Shout out to the unbiased Brim Reaper, man. Make sure y'all go sub up to his channel too, man. Tell him Go Thriller sent you. The market says sound like he's still placing the blame on Bud. Facts. He threw him under the bus again, man. But hey, man, if he feel like that's his truth, then hey, who am I to tell Earl otherwise? If Bud was holding up negotiations to negotiate this fucking $10 million deal that he got allegedly, hey, I can't knock Bud for that. You are what you negotiate, period. End of discussion. I don't fault the man, because if he wasn't getting no transparency, with the initial 2 offers, then what the fuck? I need some transparency, and that transparency is a guarantee of 8 figures. It is what it is. What up, Stewie G? I ain't never seen you in this bitch. What's popping? Make sure you sub up to the channel. He said, what's up, E3? What's popping? How are you, kind sir? I appreciate you for pulling up on the pack. What's shaking? What up, Marcus? He said, real talk, excuses are already coming. We know they coming, but I'm going to say this. That shit going to happen on both sides, y'all. Now, y'all ain't going to hear me making no excuses. If Errol Spence goes in there and kick Bud ass, hey, man, I ain't going to make no excuse. I don't even know what the fuck I'm going to say, right? But I'm not going to make no fucking excuses. And I expect the same in return. But I'm going to do a show on that the closer we get to the fight. Oh, but best to believe you me. I'm going to talk about that, bro. Good fucking point. What up, Bruce Gas, Boxing the Jazz and more? He says, salute E Thriller and the Black Picasso. How are you, kind sir? It's always a pleasure to have you in the Woodpack, kind sir. I appreciate you for stopping by on this late night. I know it's Thursday night. A lot of people got to work tomorrow. I'm thinking about calling in. I'm just saying, I'm thinking about calling in because I'm tired as fuck. I don't know. I'm a game time decision. We'll see at 8 in the morning. But what up, Adam? He said Crawford going to get a sore ass from being on the ground so much. Okay, so you got Errol. Okay, so you got Errol winning. Let me know what round you got Errol sending Crawford to sleep experts in, bro. Let me know. Shout out to Adam. I appreciate you, my brother. What up, Sanctus? He said, to me, Errol is more like Gary Payton and Bud is more like MJ or Kobe. Gary Payton. That's my favorite point guard of all time, too, just FYI. I wouldn't say Errol is more like Gary Payton. Why you say that? Break that down for me, bro. Drop something else in the chat. Y'all know I'm behind on the comments, so yeah, man, hit that like button. Pretty please, pretty please. I'm missing a like or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. What up, Cena? He said Bud cleaned up the belts and became undisputed on Top Rank in 2 years, 2015 through 2017. It took Errol 5 years to collect 3 belts on his side of the street and finally send an offer. Hey, man, I feel you, bro. It's kind of hard for him to bitch and moan and complain about Bud holding up negotiations when, nigga, you was holding up this fight to begin with. Y'all can say what y'all want, but the facts are the facts. Before they can even negotiate, we had to wait on Errol, or he had to wait on Errol, rather, to clean up his side. It is what it is. Shout out to Mr. Golden. I appreciate that cash app again, big homie. Let me see. Who haven't I got? What up to my dog? ASAP, 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 ASAP. Shout out to my bro, man. He said, what up, E3? What's popping? How are you, kind sir? I appreciate you, man. You always tapping in with your boy Go Thriller, man. I appreciate you, my brother. You always pull up for his boy Go Thriller. What up to Robert Horry? Is this the great Robert Horry? They got 7 championships. Shout out to Robert Horry, man. They helped my Lakers win a few rings. He said, bro, Tim Duncan was called a big fundamental. Facts. Big facts. I agree. DeMarcus said, don't forget his passing. Yeah, he was a hell of a passer out of the double teams, too. That's another thing he got KG on. I totally agree. Great fucking point. What up, X-Man? I see your boy. What up, Baba Yaga? He said, Bud is more like Kobe. I totally agree. I hope you like them analogies that I gave and the points I was making, man. Y'all know me, man. I love basketball. Like, if anybody want to come on the panel, anytime I go live or whatever like that, or you want to email me and say, hey, Thriller, go live on basketball or some shit, or let's talk about this or talk about that, I'm all for it, bro. I can talk about basketball all fucking night. Basketball is my first love because I hoop. I can talk about that shit all night. But yeah, man, shout out to you, bro. Y'all just going back and forth. Let me see. Who haven't I got, man? Let me get somebody I ain't got. What up to Smells Like OTR? He said Loma was bouncing Devin's head back. Yeah, that's a fact. He was catching Devin with some good ass straight left hands, bro. But Devin was hitting him with a lot of body shots. So it was a whole lot of give or take. Go back and watch that fight in slow-mo, bro. That was a hell of a fight. One of the best fights I've seen since Triple G and Canelo, parts 1 and 2. What up, I Run NY? He said, watch Errol Spence versus Sapari Surg. Okay, I'll watch that fight. What about it, though? What do you want me to look for? Drop something else in the chat, fam. Shout out to you, though. Let me see. Boxing Nerd said, Kobe killer mentality. Crawford has that indeed. So good comparison. I appreciate it, my brother. I'm trying to paint the picture so vividly to where some of you slow motherfuckers can understand it, but my shit be going over a lot of motherfuckers' heads, but it is what it is. Who haven't I got, man? Shout out to one of my right brothers, man, loyal to the game, Boxing Talk. He said, salute. What's poppin', bro? How are you, kind sir? As a matter of fact, man, let me do this, man. Let me go ahead and drop this link just in case y'all want to rock with your boy Thriller, aka the Black Picasso. Let me see if I can get a couple of more. Shout out to my nigga, man, Rebel Life Boxing. He said, salute, Big Thriller. Hey, man, make sure y'all go sub up to Rebel Life Boxing after the show. Tell him Go Thriller sent you, man. Shout out to my bro, man. This the nigga right here that showed me how to do my thumbnails. I'm going to give him his flowers every time. Shout out to Rebel Life Boxing. I appreciate it, fam. He said, salute, Big E Thriller. What's popping? How are you, man? What's popping? Yeah, man. Shout out to the Woodpack. What up, DZW Boxing? He said Ugas fought the wrong fight and paid for it. Styles make fights, and Crawford won't just stand there. Yeah, man. I feel like Crawford, well, Errol Spence style, rather, is tailor-made for Terence Crawford. If Crawford fight a smart fight, you know, just be the counter-puncher that he is and wait for Errol to come in, lunging forward to make a mistake. Because I feel like this fight could go like Errol is whooping his ass the entire fight. And then, bam! Sleep experts. I mean, we've seen Bud do this time and time again. Once he gets the range and distance and adjusted to what his opponent is doing and the rhythm and shit like that. Hey, man, you might be going to sleep, bro. So, yeah, Errol could be up 4 rounds to 2 or 7 rounds to 3. Who knows? And then, lo and behold, that motherfucking guy from North Omaha is going to hit him with some shit that he don't fucking see. That's how I see the fight going. I can see the fight playing out just like that, bro. Good comment. Tan said, salute E Thriller, no one iller. What's popping? How are you, kind sir? Shaking. Let me see, man. Let me see. Who haven't I got? Who haven't I got? Hold on, y'all. What up to Poverty Must Go? I ain't never seen you in my chat. Welcome to the Woodpack, my brother. He said, you're speaking straight facts. He threw like, hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I try to speak mostly facts. And when I'm being opinionated, I would say, hey, man, this is my personal opinion because I don't know everything. I'm cool with saying that. I ain't no know-it-all ass nigga. Shout out to you, bro. Make sure you sub up to the channel, fam. Rebel said, at first I thought it was scripted, but Bud was also working on putting controlled pressure on Errol Spence. Looks like that part of the plan is to put Errol Spence on his back foot in parts of the fight. Hey, man, you never know. Maybe Bud is going to come out and walk Errol down. I don't know. It remains to be seen. But one thing I do know is this. Terence Crawford has a lot of plan A, B, C's, and D's. Can we say the same about Errol Spence? How many plan A, B, C, D's does he have? I don't know. How many plans do we have? I don't know because I'm just so used to seeing Errol Spence fight one particular way, right? Outside of the Mikey Garcia fight. I don't know. We gonna see. Yeah, IQ. Facts. Great fucking point. If I missed that, I apologize. IQ. Very high level IQ from Kobe and Bud. So he's very Mamba-like. I totally agree. Excellent point. What up, Con Shawnery? He said, Thriller, what's popping? How are you, kind sir? All right, man. So let me do this. He said, hold on. What up, Mike Lee? He said EJ lost that fight. He had started hitting the groin area to win. EJ hits the cup a lot in his fights. Hey, man, I did a video on that shit a while back, man, saying that here's proof that Errol Spence is a dirty fighter. Errol Spence is a very dirty fighter, right? He'll hit you below the belt. The ref, they warn him, but I've never seen him get a point taken away. So I don't know what's up with that. So we're going to need a ref that's on point, bro. That's a good-ass point. That shit probably wore Sean Porter down. What up, D-Ray Promotions? I see you. What's good, boy? Let me see. Storm Gillian said, just go to see the comments on the Brooke and Porter weigh-ins videos. No one was saying they were washed. It's only after the fight. He said only after the facts they diminished Bud's resume. Good fucking point, bro. Great comment. Great comment, man. We know they like to move the goalpost, bro. Whenever it comes to Terence Bud Crawford. They love it. Shout out to my boy again, man, Byron Brantley. I appreciate that cash out, fam. He said, blessings, my brother was popping. What up, Kareem Boxing News? He said comparing him to Kobe is disrespectful. How is that disrespectful? Please enlighten me in the chat. As a matter of fact, when I drop this link, you're going to have to do some explaining, my brother. I would love to hear your take on that. Gans said, I don't know how to say your name. I apologize. He said, Bud put no fear in Errol. Rocking nonsense or talking nonsense, I think is what you try to say. You sounded like a bozo, youngin, shaking my fucking head. Okay, I mean, you're entitled to your fucking opinion. But Errol Spence was the man that said, I'm going to go the easier route and knock out Sean Porter. So that leads me to believe that Errol Spence knew this was going to be his toughest task in the end. So he wanted to save this fight for last. Tell me where I told a lie. But shout out to you, man. I appreciate your comment. TA said T.O. getting slipped by Taylor. LOL. Hey, man, I think so too, bro. Let me go ahead and drop this link, man, just in case y'all want to rock, because I want to hear from some of y'all. Don't you all click at once. Hold on. As a matter of fact, make sure y'all go sub up to my new channel, man. Go Thriller the Black Picasso. Get them subs up to 1,000 so I can get monetized on that channel. And before y'all click on my link, man, let me go through the panel rules, the panel etiquette, rather. All right, so hold on, y'all. All right, so the rules on my panel and on my channel. Rule number 1, please turn your camera on so I can authenticate you. And once I authenticate you and make sure everything is on the up and up, I'm going to let you come on and pop your shit. Rule number 2, mute your audio until I introduce you. Rule number 3, you will have 5 minutes to speak. Uninterrupted time. You can come on and say, "Hey, Thriller, you're a fucking idiot. You're an imbecile. You're a Neanderthal. You're a bud buddy. You don't know shit about boxing. You hate Errol Spence. I hate your channel. I hope you delete your channel. You're a Neanderthal. You're an idiot." You can say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to say a motherfucking word. And neither is anybody else on my panel, right? Uninterrupted time. Rule number 4, please don't dominate the show. If we have a big panel of, say, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 guys, maybe, you got to be mindful of what's going on. If somebody got smoke with somebody else, you kind of got to fall back and let that shit play out. And then, because everybody want to get their points in, man. Everybody want to make their points and have a good time and do shit like that on a panel. So please be mindful of that. That's a very fucking important rule. Rule number 5, one of the most important rules on my channel, and I cannot regurgitate this enough. Please don't mention nobody else's channels on my channel. And if you're going to mention another YouTube content creator or whatever they got going on, then that's paid promotion. You automatically got to send me a cash app. If not, I'm kicking you off my panel. No exceptions, 0 tolerance. I don't want motherfuckers to say, "Oh, they be hating over there in the wolf pack. Oh, he Thriller hater or he clout." I don't want to hear none of that because I don't need nobody to make my channel pop or be hot. I don't need none of that, right? And then rule number 6, please respect the fucking host and my guests. I repeat, respect the host, which is GOAT Thriller, and my guest. All right, man. Going out to Mr. Golden. You're live on the chat with the pack. Holla at me. What's poppin', fam? How are you?
Fine, bro. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, man. You sound crispy tonight. How are you, kind sir?
I'm all right. I don't appreciate you got that cussing me out.
When I cuss you out, Mr. Golden, because you always cussing me out, goddamn it.
Yeah, you cussed me out, called me all kind of names.
I see you, nerd. I see you, boxing nerd. What I call you, Mr. Golden?
Till I come
I
on your
can't see
show.
you, Mr. Norris. I can't see your face, fam. Make sure you ain't on no funny shit, bro. Go ahead, Mr. Golden. All right, you can cut your cam off.
Bro, my phone trip. I got to jump out and come back in.
All right, that's a bit.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Going out to Boxing Nerd 101. You're live on the chat with the pack. Talk to me, fam. What's popping? Hey, Mr. Norris, cut your cam off, bro. You good now? Boxing Nerd, talk to me.
Oh, sorry, Ether. What's going on, brother?
What's popping? How are you, kind sir?
I'm not too bad. I'm crispy.
Oh, yeah, man. You sound Gucci tonight, man. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead and cook. What's your take on the topic at hand?
Oh, man, it's a great topic.
Thank
Enjoying your perspective.
Appreciate
At first, I disagree with you on Terence being Colby. Oh, not being Colby. Oh, yeah. Well, I think it was you said, I think I said before you had said Colby, I said LeBron, because the only reason I said LeBron is not so much his freak athleticism, which went over my head for some reason, but it was more so because he has the ability to do everything on the court, right?
Right.
And Terence has the ability to do everything on the floor.
In the ring. Yep.
Yeah, in the ring. Sorry, my apologies. In the ring.
I get what you're saying.
He can go forwards, he can go backwards, he can switch stances.
I see you loyal to the game.
But Colby can also do everything as well. It's just LeBron was asked to do more on the offensive side, as in like running the offense, whereas Colby was the offense. So Kobe is a much better comparison, and the killer mentality. I hate that LeBron's nice as well. I don't like that he's always the nice guy. I want to see him mean. Like, remember that Game 6 against Celtics in 2012?
When he dropped 45, all jumpers.
Yeah. 45, 15, and 5, I think it was. That was
that's his best game, bro. To me,
Yeah,
that's my
man.
favorite. Or that's my favorite LeBron game.
If he was like that more often, man, I think he'd have 5 chips and so forth. But, yeah, so that Kobe comparison is beautiful. You could see
Dre.
You could see the same killer in their eyes. You could see when they start, they're finishers. They finish the game or they finish the match. You know what I mean? So the best finisher in the game right now is by far Terrence. He gets you hurt, it's Dunzo. Kobe gets the shot off, it's Dunzo. So that's a beautiful comparison.
And then there's something to be said to another point that I didn't mention about their boxing nerd to piggyback off of yours. They embrace competition. But good.
Yeah, no, 100%. He wants all the smoke, calling out everybody. Thurman wants to go over there. You want to go over there. Like, let me take the easy route. Like, Kobe wasn't about that. Kobe was Mamba mentality. And I feel like Terence Crawford embraces that to the fullest, But that being said, it's a beautiful fight. The guy that was telling you to watch the Cyric fight, that's an amateur fight in 2011.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a taller southpaw that he was fighting, and it was interesting. But
yeah, Earl really ain't fought that many southpaws in his career. He done only fought 3 in the professional rankings, right? He fought Chris Van Herden. He fought Larde when he got rocked, and I think he fought one more, but I can't remember. Who was the third one? I can't remember. I have to do my research.
Chris Van Herden, Marte, and Bundu.
It's one more. I can't remember.
Bundu. I think it was Bundu.
Bundu. Okay.
Yeah, Bundu was an old ass southpaw, but he was a southpaw. But yeah, man. And for the Teo fight, I might be picking the opposite side. I think Teo might win because he's a good counter puncher. And Josh Taylor might be emotionally too into the fight, and he might play into Teo's hands. I feel like Teo's just a troll, and his whole plan was to get Josh Taylor riled up, just because everybody's been talking trash about him for all this time, and it's just getting to his head. So Teo just stirred the storm a little bit more, and Josh Taylor wants to get his hands on him so bad that he might run into a right hand. Because the biggest kryptonite for a southpaw is a straight right hand from an orthodox fighter. So you just never know. But Teal's compromised mentally, so it can go either way. It's a pickup, honestly. I do respect Teal just for fighting the hard fights, because Tank talked Loma for how long, and he went into the Loma fight prematurely, in my opinion. But he came out with the win solely because Loma was injured from the second round. But yeah, that's all I got to cook on right now. Appreciate you for letting me on the panel, and I'll wait for open panel.
Alrighty, man, just in time, man. I going out to Mr. Golden because you slid back in the ring. I'm gonna pay you your respects, my brother. Are you ready to speak, Mr. Golden? Holler at me, fam.
Coming off of mute. Yes, sir. Go ahead
and pop your shit. You got 5 minutes, Mr. Golden.
Okay, I got 5 minutes. Okay. I'm enjoying the show pretty good so far. And Boston Nerd, I got to agree with you 100%. I'm going with Teo. I think Theo gonna knock his ass out. And I believe he just trolling everybody, somebody got to be the villain. And I'm thinking that's what he's trying to put out, like he the villain and get the fight all crunked up. Other than that, their fight won't be working on nothing, man. I've really been dead. And nobody asked for the fight, really. That's something that they are pushing down us, and the fight was dead to me. You feel me? They wasn't making no headways or nothing on that. So, and for you through your assessment with Bud, you dead on about that, man. He is the goddamn Kobe Bryant of the NBA. He's a great killer. I love it. Yeah, I don't see your boy beating Bud at all. I be talking shit, talking he gonna beat Bud and all kind of shit, but at the end of the day, Bud got too much. Bud got too much skills, man. Let's keep it a buck. You feel me? He got it. He got entirely too much skills. He got too many ways he can beat him, and that's gonna be the icing on the cake. You know, when Bud go to work on that nigga ass. You know, I'm really curious and really want to see what it's going to be like when Bud go to walk an Earl ass down and can Earl handle that pressure.
Mm.
That's what I want to see. Can Earl handle the pressure that Bud's going to bring on him? And if so, then we have a hell of a fight. But until he's able to handle that pressure,
I see you, Q.
it's going to be a cakewalk. I mean, going to be a real cakewalk. Somebody's going to get slapped. I don't think it's going to be Bud. So I'm gonna let everybody go ahead and pop their shit and get on with it. But I'm gonna wait. Yeah, cause you talk about coming on your show cussing you out. I ain't cuss you out tonight, now did I?
Yeah, you sound a little tired tonight, Mr. Golden. You usually have a little bit more energy for me.
I'm trying to be nice.
Already, I appreciate it.
I'm trying to be nice because you always don't bust me out talking about doing some bullshit. So I'm trying to be nice tonight. I ain't starting no shit. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna be nice. You say I can't come on the show and act up no damn mo.
Nah,
So
there you go. There you go.
What? So I ain't gonna act up. I'm gonna be nice. Can I be nice for a change?
You full of shit, Mr. Golden.
Why? What I did?
I ain't tell you nothing like that.
You told me the other day you called me on the phone, tell me I can't talk no shit no more.
Nah, nigga, I didn't say that to you, Mr. Golden. You can't. Stop
it. It wouldn't be me, man. It wouldn't be me, bro. If I didn't come and talk shit, man. You know, I'm very proud of you, man. I'm very proud of y'all young fellas, what y'all doing in this Boston community, this Boston thing, man. Y'all keeping everything live and on point. You know, I take my hat off to y'all gentlemen. Keep up the good work, young man. Keep up the good work. All right.
Appreciate it, Mr. Golden.
All right, now. Make sure you hold on to that cash up because I ain't seen you no damn more.
Hey, I'll take it. Whatever y'all can see. All right, man.
That's the last time I see your hands of cash up because you talk shit about me. You got to keep my money. You can send my money back to me, you know.
Yeah. You were trying to get me to send it right back. I'm like, hold on, where they do that at?
Yeah, send that shit back to me. You know they do that?
Nah, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
My shit is non-refundable.
See, that's that shit. That's the kind of cash that when they be faking, when everybody think they're sending you a cash out, they really don't be sending you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, but I'm gonna fall back, man. I am kind of tired, man. I've been on the roof for the last 2 days, man, and that sun kicking my ass. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the show. But if I drop off, you don't get mad at me because I'm tired. All right, bro.
That's a bet, my brother. All right, man.
All right,
going
bro.
out to Mr. Norris. You're live on the chat with the pack. Talk to me, bro. What's popping, fam?
Man, peace to everybody on the panel. And shout outs to everybody that's gonna be at the fight. And second place, shout out to everybody that's not gonna be bootlegging the fight. Like a lot of these people that's got the loudest shit to say. But anyway, so we team EJ over here. Although we are team boxing first, we love the sport. And this is definitely something that we've been waiting on for a long time. One of the things I think a lot of people don't, maybe they see it, but they don't want to acknowledge it. Bud Crawford has a lot of defensive liabilities in the orthodox stance. He's a converted southpaw. EJ is the natural southpaw. Work left, right, in and out of the southpaw stance. And if you don't believe me, you go back and you look at the Sean Porter fight with Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford didn't even switch to the southpaw stance until like round 5. And he was getting busted up, actually, in the orthodox stance. And if you look at him when he is working out of the southpaw stance, he cannot work to his left. When you take away his right side, okay, and you force him to go to his left, he grabs.
He cuffs, he grabs, he pivots, he does a lot of cute shit, but he's not really effective. And I think you heard Derek James say something to the effect of, what happens when Errol makes you do the thing that you can't do? You're gonna fight where he tells you to fight. If he tell you that you're gonna fight right here, that's where you're gonna fight, and that's what you're gonna see. But I mean, maybe he's working on some shit. I don't know, but I hope he is, because that is going to be a problem for him in the southpaw stance. So, I'm not sure if he's going to work southpaw initially, or if he's going to work orthodox. Either way, he's going to lose. Props to him. I don't know how he's going to lose. I don't know if he's getting knocked out, if it's going to be by decision, but he's going to lose the fight. And hopefully he doesn't have a lot of excuses as to why he loses. He had the tune-up fight. Errol been out the ring. He been at the 147 pound division for way too long. I'll acknowledge that. But, if you're really being honest and you're watching with a careful, judicious eye, that Bud Crawford has a tendency to get a little messy. And when you saw that fight with Sean Porter was able to exploit that. I think that, the Sean Porter that fought Errol Spence, which he looked better than he ever looked in his life. That Sean Porter, would have had a lot more smoke for Bud Crawford. And he was losing that fight, if you're honest. He was losing that fight. But that's my take on it. That's really all I got to say as far as the comparisons between Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett. I don't really get that. I guess the only thing I really got from that was him saying, I do everything right. It's not flashy, but it's effective, and I win. I win. You know what I'm saying? I win. I'm consistent, and I'm always gonna win. It may not be beautiful, but it's effective, and I'm gonna win. Whereas Kevin Garnett, it's flashy. He does a lot of shit that he quote shouldn't be able to do. But it's cute. It looks good. It sells tickets. It's flashy. But he got one ring.
I agree.
He got one ring.
And that's why I didn't compare him to KG. I say he's more like Kobe, because we know Bud and won. So
no doubt. Hey, you know what? And I can rock with that. But again, I mean, if you really look and listen, I'm not taking nothing away from Bud Crawford. Only a fool would do that. You can't take nothing away from Bud.
Nah,
Bud is straight pressure. Don't get it twisted. Okay. But if you look, you show me Bud Crawford working both sides of the plate out of the southpaw stance. Unlike Jaron Ennis, who is a natural. Go ahead, brother.
You said he can't go left when he's in the southpaw stance, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I'm just writing it down.
Listen, why?
When I go back and watch it, I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah, well, why everybody's sitting chilling? You know what I'm saying? Just pull up some clips, random Bud Crawford clips, and look, and you'll see it. You'll see how he reacts when he's under pressure. On the left side in the southpaw stance. I think he switches because he has to. You know what I mean? Unlike Jaron Ennis, who is a natural switch. Jaron is a real switch hitter. He said, I don't even know when I do it. And he said, I don't even know when I do it. He does it because it's the right, most judicious, economical thing to do when he does it. Whereas Bud Crawford does it because, So anyway, all right, y'all. Peace.
Hey, man, I appreciate your perspective, my brother. And what I'm going to do my due diligence, because like I said, I've been watching film on both of them like all week since this past weekend. I'm going to pay attention to that, bro.
But you never keyed in on that. And it's interesting. You're going to check it out. You'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to check it out for sure. All right, Mr. Norris, I appreciate you for tapping in, my guy. All right, going out to Mr. INTJ. You're live on the chat with the pack. Holler at me, fam. What's popping, bro?
Hey, shout out Thriller and everybody on the panel. Yeah, and I know you cook like you usually do, and I agree with your assumption about pretty much the analogy of Tim Duncan and the Kobe analogy. I kind of look at it too, kind of like more of a Klay Thompson type of Kyrie type of thing, like where Bud has so many tools. Like Kobe was good, but like Bud has so many tools that's unique. Set him a little apart from everybody else to where. Like he has a different type of bag, you know what I'm saying? He hasn't been shown to go fully in it, but like Klay is effective, like how early, straightforward. But to the guy on the panel that was saying that he don't see how Bud could win. And I was just thinking, because this is the thing I think I had talked about you on the last panel. Like, everybody assumes that EJ is the strongest, and people forgetting it. I'm not saying like said a car accident took anything from him because he had no broken bones. What I'm trying to say, if somebody else has been staying in shape, you know what I'm saying, consistently staying in shape, and you just not trying to get back in shape, you know what I'm saying, which he had been, even though the Ugas fight, and this person has been in top shape, you just not trying to get there. Even right now, Bud is probably like 160 right now, probably 158 something right now, and I think Bomac say he walk around like 165, 166 on the interview that he just recently did, or whatever. But anyway, by the gentleman saying about Errol, everybody give Errol this credit, which I'm not knocking. He's a great fighter, but what this people don't understand. They talk about, oh, EJ defense is so great. You have to realize he's the bigger man. He's a stronger man. So, meaning he's jabbing, people are respecting that. Meaning they're blocking most of the time. So, meaning he's not getting punched as much. That's how when you're throwing 1,000-something punches, that means you're not getting hit by nobody with no good counter, because to throw that many punches and not respect somebody got them coming back says a whole lot. And what I mean by that is, for example, the fights you go back, like the gentleman that was just on the panel just went on, go back and look at EJ fights, like we saying, and go back and look at the fights when he's had to block 3 and 4 hit combinations. The stuff gets through, but he's throwing so much offense to where people rarely can do that. They got to just throw one and try to get out the win. He's steady, putting onslaught. And the difference between Bud is they throw combinations. Just like anybody with like Lomachenko, even though like why the fight look competitive with Lomachenko, because when somebody throw combinations, even though I believe Devin was slipping most of that stuff, like we've never seen Errol. In fact, when we seen him have to block more than 3 punches with the Sean Porter fight or in the fight, he starts getting hit. That invincibility goes away because, you know what I'm saying, that's an illusion, because he's invincible throwing all the punches because nothing's coming back. And I believe with Bud, and like I say, you said the southpaw stance. This is what nobody realizing, and it's a reason why he goes that way going back anyway, because he's leading with his strong hand. So that means if somebody gets around, if the person leans in to come toward him, his weak hand is on the back hand. Even though he's still strong in both hands, he's still right-handed. So that means him swiveling and going away. So I mean, if somebody reaches over, he can spin off and at least try to hook somebody across with the body, which he does a lot, which he calls Sean Porter when somebody get greedy. So it's reason he does certain things. It's a trap. It's like, okay, now you're greedy, you're coming toward him. If I swivel this way, I can still check hook you with the right hook. But that's my dominant hand, which he called Kell Brooker, which you didn't see. And Earl's whole little tap with the jab, stick his head under, come under. That's gonna be real difficult when somebody got their dominant hand and are hitting you. And like I say, the thing that if I was Bud and I wouldn't have told him is Bud is strong, I wouldn't even let them know that. I let them Earl go in there with this perception that he has. And the reason why I don't believe the hype that Earl can go in there and just dog walk what's called, he respected Mikey. Now, if you respect the Mikey, you in there trying to box him, we know you're gonna respect Bud. So that stepping stuff is just a strategy that I know is not gonna happen. Because if he's stepping the Bud like that, I think he's gonna get put to sleep. I'm dead serious. Because I don't want him to see him spit the mouthpiece off when he get clipped like he did with Danny, you know, or when he did with Ugas and the referee gave him a chance to recover. So these little things that people saying he's invisible, like, no, it's certain things. If you look at, no one's forced him to really show. Even if Danny Garcia fight, Danny waited to end the last 12 rounds to throw a 5-6 hit combination, landed to a 3.
I'm saying, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like let's be real. This dude Earl is not invisible. He's got away with this because of the level of opposition, which I'm not knocking. Because like we look at this, Danny's good, but Danny's flat-footed. We all know that. Let's be for real. Danny's flat-footed. Danny's gonna be there to be hit. He's trying to wait to counter. Let's be for real. Bud is not gonna sit there and just, I'm gonna let you just tag and I'm just wait to hit you. He's gonna make Earl reach and do a whole lot of stuff that Earl not used to doing. And like I say, we've all, another thing too, we saying about, Bud get hit a lot. Bud to tell you on the interview, he said, I do that because once I know I can take your punch, it's over with. He did it with Mean Machine. He said it because now I know I took your best shot. You know, threat to me, it's over with. That's why he does it. We start wondering, man, why are you taking these changes? Because he has the IQ know where I can take these risks now. But people don't get that. It's so deep. But I ain't gonna take over the panel. I just was trying to give my input on that.
Bro, you still got time. Pop the shit, bro. You still got pop the shit.
Yeah, but it's like people looking at it like Bud is at such a disadvantage. And I'm kind of like, and it's another thing, people, here go a little Jim too. Everybody that's saying that Bud finna get smoked on July 29th. Guess who birthday?
I must confess, I like that shirt. The Errol Spence.
Yeah, I do. But Thriller, you got my word. I got something for you that I'm drawing. Trust me, I ain't done with it, but you'll see.
Right.
You got my word on that. You got my word on that. But this is what they don't realize. It's Bud mother's birthday is on July 29th. What the fuck you think he's finna do? People don't know that. You think that man finna try to get put to sleep on his mama's birthday? Let's be for real.
Yeah, he can't really go. He can't really go to the function with an ass whooping. That's
no, you can't. Hell no.
He got a lot to fight for. I didn't think about that.
Hell no. You know what she said? She always said he'll get his ass whooped. So imagine him having to come, bro. No, EJ gonna have to kill that man. That's what y'all don't understand. And another thing people haven't understood. You ever heard EJ talking about, I'm out dog this man, I'm out do this? He been silent. I ain't never heard this man this silent. I ain't never heard this man this silent. The shirts, that's cool. Yeah, you keep it respectful because you already know that it's not what you think it is. It's not like all that hype. Danny knew he was doing at 140. People don't talk about Danny ducking him at 140. I don't even leave that in there. You know what I'm saying? And or Danny getting his ass whooped by Americanus, he threw the lucky left hand punch. So the EJ fans, I'm not saying like he can't, Bud can't lose, but I'm just saying like y'all realizing he's never had to really deal with nothing like this ever before. And like I say, look at the post fights. Look at EJ face when he fought Porter, and look at Bud in the fight when he fought Porter. It says a whole lot that we don't see. So I'm not gonna take up the pad. I was just give my input. But yeah, I'll let somebody.
I appreciate your perspective, bro, for breaking down the other side of the shit that Bud can do in regards to what Mr. Norris was saying in regards to Earl. All right, man. Hold on, Darian, man. Cut on your cam, bro, so I can authenticate you. Then you can turn it off, bro. All right, that's a bit. All right, mute your audio. Thank you, sir. All right, going out to. Is that Stephen Brimley? You're live on the chat with the pack. Talk to me, brother.
Good evening, man. How you doing, my brother?
I can't complain, my brother. It's Thursday. How are you?
I'm here at work, just doing what I normally do.
You
Everything's
sound so
all right.
enthused.
I'm not. I'm just here. I'm here so I don't get fined. Well, in my Marshawn Lynch voice. But shout out to everybody that's on the panel. They're making some valuable points because one of the things I did see from Bud that is a deficiency is that offensively he's nowhere near as effective in the orthodox stance. It's more of a defensive stance, and I noticed that about him when he's fighting in the orthodox. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic when it comes down to the fight itself to see how he operates. But another token too is that if you look at the Porter fight with Spence, Porter was pivoting and spinning them into the ropes multiple times, and that's how he was able to get some of his good shots in. Every time he tried that with Bud effectively canceled that shit out every single time. So it's so many dynamics to the fight. Like I've always said, I believe Spence has a chance to win, but I don't think he will because I think Bud has a little bit more dog in him, and Bud has a few more tools in the tool belt. And the point where you said he could be losing and then catch it with one shot, that absolutely could possibly happen because Spence does have a tendency to lunge, and sometimes when he keeps people from getting in the clinch, he leaves himself susceptible to the uppercut. And I believe Bud has been practicing that to catch him with them in between shots, and one of those in between shots will be the uppercut. So watch out for that. I think the uppercut and the left hook, was going to be the thing that may hurt Spence. But again, the analogy we talked about that before. The Duncan and Kobe. That's the most proper comparison because I can't see KG because KG is cool, but KG.
He ain't win enough to be compared to Terence Crawford, in my opinion.
I agree, and I agree too about the shirt. I thought the shirt was pretty dope from Spence.
Oh, that shirt is fly as fuck. I ain't no hater now. Yeah, that shirt is fly as fuck.
Yeah, it's time that he does his part, and he's made his rounds. Dallas Cowboys channel being on with Shaq. And now we got the press conference. They're doing it backwards compared to what they did with Tank and Ryan. Now they're doing LA first and then doing New York after. So I'm glad they got that aligned because I was sitting there wondering what the hell's going on here.
We both was, bro.
Yeah, I was searching every damn where. I woke up and I saw you hit me with that. I'm like, okay, there we go. About time, guys. About time. But listen, end of the day, man, we gonna be able to technically break down both of these fighters, their weaknesses, their strengths, because we can't go sit here and cap and act like Bud don't have weaknesses. Bud does get caught with shots sometimes.
Yes, sir.
He leaves himself susceptible. But the key, the biggest component for me though, the reason why I picked Bud is Spence doesn't have one punch of knockout power. When's the last time we see Spence land one punch that just set it off?
Carlos Ocampo, right?
I think so.
Body shot. I just watched the fight the other day.
I think that's the reason why Bud's going to win because I think Bud will be able to take his best shot. And I think Spence could take Bud's best shot, but he can't take the best shot that he don't see. And I think he's going to get caught with a shot that he don't see, and those are the ones that hurt the most. And what I mean by hurt the most is where you completely lose your bearings because you didn't expect it. You can see that thing is Bud can brace himself for a Smith shot because he's going to see it coming. But I digress. Again, Spence can win, Bud can win, but I just really hope that and I believe this. I mean, there are some Bud fans that might hide out if Bud lose, but it will be much more Errol Spence fans that will hide out if he loses or make extreme excuses because they've moved the goalposts on Bud all the time. I remember when Kell Brook was fighting, they used him as a barometer. Well, you got to fight Brook, then show it. Then as soon as he beat him, oh, he's washed. Then they did that same thing with Porter. They don't keep it even. They always moving the goalposts. You know what I mean? Some Bud fans do that same shit, but at the end of the day, man, this is the fight for both of these guys. We got to give them both respect for making it happen.
Yep.
And I don't want to hear that cat from Spence talking about, oh, I waited so long. Now you waited so long because you made him wait so long. Y'all could have fought.
Oh, you talking about the
Yeah,
negotiations part? Yeah, I didn't
yeah.
like him saying that. He threw him under the bus, but
Well, I mean, but
it
it's
is what it is.
expected because Bud is doing the same thing though. There's gonna be a little bit of jostling in that aspect, so it's expected. But I
Gamesmanship,
digress. Let me go ahead and
gamesmanship.
yeah. Hopefully the press conferences are good. I'm not looking for them to fight or have no T.O. moments saying some delusional shit.
Nah, they're gonna be
But
popping their shit though, bro.
I hope so.
I think they're gonna pop their shit, bro. Yeah, man. I see it. I think Bomac gonna be the one that said it all.
Okay, that'd be interesting. Then they will say something about him with his chips. Because somebody said
I
something, they
think
gonna throw it.
I think Spence gonna say something to respond to him, and then that's what's gonna get Bud going. Then you
No,
gonna have a
y'all
lot
trust
of
me.
back.
Bernie gonna be the one. Trust me. Bernie
Bernie ain't gonna be up there on the podium. I don't
He ain't
think,
gonna be
though.
on the podium though,
No,
bro.
but he gonna be on the floor though. Last time he was there on the floor. He gonna be on the floor though. That's what I'm saying. He gonna say
Okay.
something
And
disrespectful.
the thing is, some of the Spence fans had me dying laughing, talking about Bo Mac gonna throw out the Cheetos bag to stop the fight.
Shit.
I was like, y'all stupid. And did you see that picture I sent you of the fans made with the big fish and then
Yeah,
showed
yeah.
Bud as a thing of
I just
corn?
showed it, fam. This one
Let-
right here, right?
These
Yeah,
dudes is off the hook.
I like it. I love it, bro. I love
It's
all the
funny.
shit talking, the trolling. I love it, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, let me go and let the next person come on. Let me get back on, put myself back on mute and get my listen on.
This has been, man, going out to Loyal to the Game Boxing. You're live on the chat with the pack. Holler at me, bro. What's popping, fam?
Hey, salute E3.
Salute, my
to
brother. You all
salute
right?
to the yeah, absolutely, man. Always appreciate coming up. I was getting ready to go to bed, man, but you put the link up, so I told my wife, I said I gotta yell for another half hour, so so
Appreciate it.
yeah, so I respect your analogy with Kobe. I see exactly your point of view and where you're coming from with that, and it makes a lot of sense.
Appreciate it.
However, I said the same exact thing Errol Spence said last year with the same comparison. And I think the reason for the comparison, it doesn't have anything to do with the titles. It's just that both of those guys play the same position. And you're looking at two guys who are welterweight. So it's like you don't want to compare a Shaq to Kobe, or Shaq to Tony Parker or whatever. You want to make it an even assessment. And it's just about abilities. Like Terence Crawford has great skill. I believe Kevin Garnett had great footwork. He was very versatile in the things he could do. He was athletic. He was lanky. Pause. He was dark skinned. I saw it. Errol Spence is, look, I was a Laker fan. I still am a Laker fan.
Already, man.
All right, and look, when Shaq and Kobe was there, man, it was I was going for them, but there was some times with Tim Duncan. I mean, his game, it like he boring, he looked lame, all kind of stuff, but he was giving niggas work.
Yeah. We
Every
couldn't guard him, bro.
yeah, it was
We
and
couldn't guard him,
it
bro.
was everyone. It was even the ones who had good defense like Rasheed Wallace back then. Like all of those guys who were good back in the day, who were athletic, who were really good players. Tim Duncan didn't look half as athletic. He looked weird. He's shooting bank shots. That's like equivalent to Spence jab, but it's like, yo, this shit, you taking an L after you look up. This nigga got 30, 20, and 5 blocks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I just think it's the comparison. I made the same exact comparison just because you want to compare apples to apples, in terms of position. But with the championships and everything that you said and that killer instinct like Kobe, I can't say no. The only thing, the only difference, the only difference where I have to give you a little shit with the Kobe comparison is Kobe Kobe wouldn't have fought no damn amnesia. Okay, Kobe mentality. Kobe mentality. See, certain people, and we can even go to Floyd Mayweather. When you want to go pound for pound best, certain people love the sport and believe in themselves so much. Like when Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya, he just wanted to be the best. He took 20% away. I'm not saying Bud was supposed to take that. I'm just saying it's a mentality about being an all time great. Is when that comes first. And if I'm just being honest about Terrence Crawford, I can't be mad at him. I mean, dude, I think I like 6 kids. He got to think about business. He got to think about business too. I can't knock him, but I also got to give Terrence Crawford fans a hard time about that because they had a problem. They was calling Spence fans accountants and all kinds of shit for 5 years. So it got to go both ways. It can't just be when our guy do it, it's okay. You gotta think about business. But when everyone's explaining what they were doing on their side, it's called ducking. So if it's good for one side, it's good for the other. All right. So the next part of it is when we talk about the fight and the matchup. you know, I'm a diehard Errol Spence supporter. I'm not a fan. I'm a supporter. I'm not, because fan is short for fanatic, and it's like you can't see past the glaze in your eye for it when you a fan. And I'm not with that. I call a spade a spade. Last night I watched the Sean Porter fight from top to bottom. Listen, I hear what the brother just said before about comparing all of that stuff with Errol Spence and Sean Porter. The
Yeah.
Errol Spence getting in the ring with Terrence Crawford is not that Errol Spence who got in the ring with Sean Porter. Let's not act like was 2 weeks after that fight he got in that accident. That man was living a very, very, very fast life. I'll share this, and I ain't gonna go too much into detail about this. After the Carlos Ocampo fight, I went out and I partied with Earl Spence. I went to 2 clubs with him and the Charlos. And I just say, I understand some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Shame on you.
You know what I'm saying?
Shame on you.
I understand some stuff. So people, at certain time they was living fast. People was living fast. And I was really let down with the Mikey Garcia fight. I was on the floor, and I was let down in the Mikey Garcia fight because I knew that Errol Spence had not like trained properly because he was in a fat camp. I could see it. When I went to the Mikey Garcia fight and went to the weigh-in, the person I sat next to that I met there was his trainer Blu-ray. It just so happened that I sat next to Blu-ray. I was like, "Yo, what's up, Blue? Blah blah blah. I'm Kwame. Blah blah blah." From loyal to the game, whatever we was talking. And I looked at Earl at the weigh-in. I looked at Blu-ray. I said, "Yo, Blue, he ain't worked with you for this fight." And Blu-ray looked back at me and said, "What made you say that?" I said, "Look at him." And he just looked at me and laughed. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Look at him." I said, he said, you know what I'm saying? So who we see now as who's getting in the ring with Terrence Crawford is not the same person we're gonna see that you saw against Sean Porter. It's not gonna be the same person that you saw in there with Mikey Garcia. Uh, y- what I will say is this: Terrence Crawford, he has a lot of skills. He does have a lot of skills. Terrence Crawford is also physically a smaller guy than Errol Spence. Number one, he does have a lot of skills, but we have seen Terrence Crawford in situations where he's hurt. This guy has great endurance. He has that killer mentality that like when Floyd got clipped by Mosley, he said the reason he was able to keep going because he was in tip top condition, and that's Terrence Crawford. He's always in tip top condition, and he's gonna be able to recover from stuff because he's trained so hard. He's been very disciplined. However, Terrence Crawford, when he gets hit, sometimes his body do different things than what his mentality wants to do. It's just true. It's just his body. Some people get hit with shit. Their body naturally does what it does, and you might be able to pull it together. And all I'm saying is, if Terence Crawford, I'm telling you guys, man, he got a puncher's chance in this fight, man. He got a puncher's chance. Errol Spence does get hit in between shots. Terence Crawford is a sharpshooter. He has power in both hands. And if he hits Errol Spence and Errol Spence legs get wobbly, he's in a world of trouble. But if he hit Errol Spence and Errol Spence legs don't get wobbly, Terence Crawford is going to take a thorough ass whooping that he has never taken before. Terence Crawford loves to be in the high guard on defense, and guys who go in a high guard against Errol Spence, they get demolished. You look at Ugas, high guard, he breaks through it. You look at
Hey, loyal to the game. It's been past 5 minutes, fam.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to pass the mic, bro. Still got people waiting, bro.
Got you, family.
All right, man. Going out to Dre, the Southwest. You're live on the chat with the pack. Talk to me, fam. What's popping, bro?
Oh, my bad, bro. I'm chilling, man.
Good,
I'm chilling, man. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody. So I want to just give a disclaimer, man. But yeah, this definitely Dre from Southwest Philly. But shout out to the whole Black America and America in general. But anyway, I just want to give a disclaimer. Last time I came on the panel, I had mentioned a few upper echelon fighters who lost to major underdogs, and one of the brothers started asking me about different names and stuff. Did I know these names or didn't I know these names? So when I go into boxing history, I don't go into boxing history as a history buff. I'm no boxing historian. I mean, I know stuff about boxing here and there, but I try to pay attention as much as I can to certain fighters I like, and I lend my ear to people who know far more than boxing than I do. So when I say certain things, I'm not coming on here to offend anyone's knowledge. I'm a big boxing fan, but I'm no historian. So now that we're getting that out the way, I don't know if the brother's still on here, but he said something and he was terribly mistaken. He said that Bud couldn't move to the left in a southpaw stance. So I'm literally sitting here watching a Porter fight. I have it on pause, and I have some timestamps where Bud goes left. He goes left in the exchange, punching Sean Porter while using his feet, making him miss and catching him, something you never see Spence do off an angle. So in round 3, anybody can go to round 3 and look at the 220 mark, Bud goes left, the 242 mark, Bud goes left, and the 106 mark, Bud goes left. I'll reiterate, that's round 3, 220, 242, and 106. And in a second round, Bud goes left at the 50-second mark and at the 52-second mark. That was just watching the fight for 2 rounds. It's not even a whole fight. So he can literally go left and right. I don't know. Sometimes the thing is, I'm not going to lie, I don't like Errol Spence. I like that he's being a man of his word and he's taking the fight. But a lot of the stuff he's done over the years, the blatant disrespect, the 70-30, the who has he fought, the I fought Chris Algieri, the I could fight Canelo, all that stuff is really like kind of soured and marred his reputation. I don't like the man, but I do give him credit for taking this fight and this hellacious beating he's about to receive on the 29th. But my point is that when if a person were to ask me, hey, yo, Dre, does Errol, who has a better work rate out of Errol Spence and Terence Crawford? I'm not going to let my dislike for Errol Spence basically mitigate my answer. I'm just going to come out and say, I ain't going to lie, Errol Spence does have a better work rate than Terence Crawford when it comes to throwing punches. Or, who is a more consistent puncher on the front foot? I'm not going to let how I feel about Spence mar my answer. I'm going to say, well, on the front foot, Errol Spence have showed a proclivity to go longer than Bud. So it's certain things I'll give Errol Spence his credit. The thing is with Bud, it's like people don't necessarily like Bud, and they'll let their dislike come in the way of their judgment, come in the way of them being judicious. Like When we were on here the other day, somebody said that Terence Crawford never fought nobody bigger than him. Then when I mentioned the people he fought multiple people bigger than him. Then when I mentioned the people who are bigger than him, then they moved the goalposts and started saying something else. The fact of the matter is, it's no argument on who is the most skillful guy. You know, it's no argument on who moves better laterally, who throws combinations better, who's in the exchange better, who has the better skill set. The only way I can see Errol Spence winning this fight is if he catch Bud with something, because I don't think he's going to out dog Bud, because what a lot of people aren't understanding, Kelly Pavlik used to throw a lot of punches in the Bernard Hopkins era, the Jermaine Teller era. Kelly Pavlik used to throw a lot of punches. That's how he got Jermaine Teller out both times. But when he got in there with like a 43-year-old Bernard Hopkins gave the man angles, gave the man feints, tied them up. He couldn't get his shots off. When Margarito fought Shane Mosley, Margarito was a real pressure puncher. He used to throw punches with you in an exchange. Spence doesn't exchange. When you swing, he just balls up and backs up. He doesn't exchange. But Margarito was a real pressure fighter, but he got in there with Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley was able to touch that body. He was able to spin him. He was able to use his physical strength and out muscle Margarito, actually. And Paul Williams was able to do the same thing. So just being a front foot heavy fighter, it's a terrible matchup when they go up against a guy who knows how to move. But Bud is more than a mover. He can actually stand there with you and bang and throw vicious body shots and lead like he did against Kavalauskas. Kavalauskas, who Mikey Garcia brother, I think what's his name? Robert Garcia? Yeah, I think Robert Garcia.
Trainer.
Yeah, Robert Garcia said, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing about Kavalauskas. He said Kavalauskas is a puncher. He said when I trained Kavalauskas and he was in my stable, Kavalauskas was the hardest hitting welterweight I had at that time. And we know Kavalauskas is a puncher because look what he did to Virgil Ortiz when he hit him with that sneaky uppercut. He damn near stopped Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz showed some resolve and went on and won the fight. Credit to him. But Crawford actually fought against bona fide punchers. So I don't know too much about basketball. I do know Kobe is from like Lower Marion, like right outside of Philly.
Parts, man. Yeah, Philly.
Yeah. So we gonna claim him, man. We definitely gonna claim him. But
got to.
But I don't know too much about basketball, man. But I'm going to end it off with this, man. It's nobody in the game right now who can do what Terence Crawford does, and there's nobody of yesteryears, from what I've saw, who could do what Terence Crawford does, except for Marvelous Hagler. No one can fight as efficient out of the left-hand stance and then turn it around to the right-hand stance. And there's one more thing I want to say, because I know my time about to run out. Somebody said that Bud is a converted southpaw. I mean, even if he is a converted southpaw, he fought against natural southpaws and beat him. He fought against Felix Diaz, who was a southpaw, and he beat him. He fought against Ndongo, who was a southpaw, and he beat him. Hank Lundy could go left, and he beat him out the southpaw position. And somebody said that Boots said that Crawford isn't a switch hitter, a real switch hitter. Crawford, not if you can knock a dude out from the right-hand stance, and if you can knock a dude out from the left-hand stance, you are a switch hitter. This is my last point right here. Andre Ward said that this is how you know a person is a true southpaw fighter, when they have a jab out of the stance. And Crawford has one of the best jabs out of the left-hand stance. So let's stop letting our dislike for these fighters take away from the significance of their skills and what they can actually do. And that's all I got, my brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Hey, JMac 504, cut your cam on, man, so I can authenticate you. And then once I see who you are, you can cut it off, bro. Appreciate you. That's a bit. You can cut it off. All right, man. Going out to the BFB Master Q. You're live on the chat with the Pat. Talk to me, fam. What's popping, bro?
Man, what's good with it, fella?
All right, man. I can't complain. How are you, my brother?
Oh, man, I'm all right, man. Listening to all this propaganda, man. God damn, man. But you know what? I'm not even in the mood to try to change nobody's opinion or fight what they say, think or believe. Because one thing, two things was told. On the 29th, when Buddy gets stopped, I repeat, I do not want to hear no motherfucking excuses at all. Because all I'm hearing is great this, great that. history this and history that and like and dislike shit. For me, I can't speak for all Errol Spence fans. For me, I don't dislike Bud Crawford. I dislike his extremist Bud Buddy ass fan nation. That is too extreme, man. They too emotional, can't never stay on topic, and they be with these great points, this great that. Like I say, I don't want no excuses, man. I don't want to hear the Earl was too big because you niggas already knew this. I don't want to hear no excuses of the athleticism's gone. He waited. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Because I tell you what, Earl just gotta don't try to get greedy, man. He just gotta try not to get greedy. You know. Earl gonna dictate this fight like he dictate all this fight. All this boxing skill bullshit, that shit's finna go out the window. We gonna make this nigga fight. Like I say, man, I'm not saying Bud ain't got no power. I'm not saying Bud ain't got no strength. But history has very been hard to be defined, man. Like I say, man, it's very rare when a great little man beat a great big man. You know. And what Buddy going up against July 29th is a great big man that he got to be perfect. Errol Spence don't have to be perfect. He just have to not be greedy. If Earl cannot be greedy, I see this fight going one way and one way only, man. You know what I'm saying? If he don't be greedy. That's just the if. Because if he does be greedy, he can allow himself to be open to some shit. That's just a fact, Thriller. So I'm interested in seeing what the game plan the great Derrick James gonna install. Just as well as I want to see if Bomac gonna have that family size bag all the way to the ring. Cause I can see him throw in the Cheeto bag, you know what I'm saying? If Buddy cannot take them shots, man, it's a reason, man. Dudes ain't the same, man. When they get in the ring getting thumped out by this nigga, man. And last thing, you know, that Aquaman shirt, that shit was hard. I ain't gonna even lie, man.
Yeah, I gotta give one. That's a fact.
That Aquaman shit, I'm not gonna even fucking lie, man. That shit was fucking hard. But this new shirt that Earl got right now, I'm getting that bitch tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that bitch hard, Q.
That bitch is hard, bro.
Yeah, I can't hate that. That shit hard.
Hey, Mr. Q, Mr. Q. Blood won round one. Earl won round two. Let's see what round three brings up in the shirts.
Yeah, they need to drop something on the day-to-day press conference or something.
I'm
That'd be
talking,
good
bro.
promotion too.
In this seafood fight that we got. in this seafood fight this festival that we gonna have on the 29th, because either somebody gonna be frying fish or somebody gonna be eating them crawfish nuggets, because we not gonna be worried about them nuggets, them crawfish nuggets. Come July 29th, man. We not worried about them crawfish nuggets, man.
Crawfish
like I say,
nuggets?
man, them crawfish nuggets, man. We not worried about them crawfish nuggets, man.
What the hell going on here, man? A little
It's time, Brim. Go ahead, Q.
We ain't gonna be worried about them crawfish nuggets, man. Like I say, man, Earl gonna be the bigger man in the ring. He gonna show and put that shit on display. And like I say, Earl gonna get hit with some shit, but I believe he got the chin that gonna stand up under that shit. I just want to see if Buddy gonna be able to stand up under Earl shit. Cause I just don't think so, bro. I just don't think so. And that's my time on that, man.
Already, man. Shout out to the BLB Master Q. Appreciate you, my brother. All right, now going out to JMac504. Hey, Mr. Norris, cut your cam back on and I'll bring it back on. You're live on the chat with the pad. Talk to me, JMac. You got 5 minutes, bro. Pop your shit.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, bro.
All right, my server's been working real bad, so if I cut off, let me know.
I see you, Mr. Norris.
All right, July 29th. I didn't even know that was Deborah's birthday, so I mean that even is confirmation that I know he's stopping dude, and that's what his mama want. So he definitely go put on the show. I think the Kobe comparison, I like the Killer Instincts. I'm gonna put Jordan on it though. Jordan had a competitive drive, almost like a sickness. I think Bud shows it. The only thing that's hard to compare to Jordan, because Jordan is great and he's retired and has accomplished so much. So we got his whole career ahead. Bud's still in his career, but I see some competitive sicknesses that I think Bud do have when it come down to being a competitor. I think that's what kind of gives him the edge and that fighter's pride that a lot of fighters don't have. Not saying these guys are great athletes or great boxers and competitors, but some people just not mentally like equipped with that. Um, Bud and Spence. I always had Bud knocking on Spence before the car accident and all that. A lot of dudes kind of came around to it late, in my opinion. I think Errol lacks the foot speed and the hand speed. When I watch Bud and when he struggled with fighters, like maybe glimpse of Sean Porter, Iroquois Gamboa, I ain't gonna say Felix Diaz because he kind of like dealt with Diaz, but like just certain glimpses. Like them dudes have foot speed, head movement, quick hands, or decent hands to where with good foot speed to where they can close the gap on Bud. Bud got long arms. So he kind of depend on a lot of range and he like to counter and like place his shots. But will fight you on the inside with mindful like discipline, meaning I'll get back to that because I know a lot of people got to say about his openness that he get hit with. Um, but that's the guys that give Bud problems, like with foot speed and hand speed. Arrow don't have none of the above. He has slow feet, he has slow hands. I'm not saying he's slow, but he don't have quick hands. His jab don't work off of timing. It's more like a volume punch. It's more like a punch to back you up so he can load his shots or get his volume off. I always say ain't no volume puncher beat no shot placer. Bud depends on his range and finding his punches, but he's very precise. Plus, he got a good arsenal of punches, how he throws on angles, how he steps on angles, and he's not basic when it comes down to picking his shots. So it's gonna be hard for Errol, in my opinion, to close the distance or bully Bud in any way, because one, Errol may be the bigger man, but I don't think he fights or willing to abandon his balance to compromise Bud and put Bud in a situation. When I say abandon his balance, meaning like dudes who big and strong, sometimes they just willing to do whatever they need to do to rough you up, put you in position. But Errol don't fight that way. And remember, he is Tim Duncan, like everybody said. So he don't allow himself to break his disciplines, what have you. So he's not willing to gulu or put Bud in a situation where he's going to try to bully Bud around, be a little Jeff Horn, like how Pacquiao was. Errol don't fight that way. So his size, I think, won't come into a factor when that fight. I think Bud is a stronger fighter because he got the better balance. I think balance has always been the stronger man in boxing. I mean, if you can get and regain your balance better than the other guy, you're more susceptible to throwing punches, blocking, moving out the way, or just taking a punch in general. Now, granted, some guys got power, but Errol don't have that type of power. We don't have that one punch power. He got volume and get you out power. And I don't think the volume and Bud's ability to counter punch is going to work in Errol's favor. I think somebody was speaking on his front foot dominance and what have you. And I was listening to what they're saying, but being that his jab and he don't move his head, it kind of keeps him in the spot. He's not a counter puncher. He don't set it up. It's not no time. It don't change the speed. It's more like a bullet jab. It's more like the Jamal, the cello jab. Like them boys are Texas, they got that strong ass jab, but I see a lot of things that they haven't evolved to. But it is a strong jab for guys who can't handle that type of pressure. I think Errol will get knocked out between 8 and 10. I think he'll walk into something and get caught by something he don't see. Bud to me he don't have great power, but he got sharp power, and I think he gets his knockouts with a lot of people. I think a caller two or say to go. A lot of people get blinded by Bud hate, and when you bring up how he knocking dudes out, they want to always talk about the level of competition he fight. And I'm like, man, damn, dude, you didn't see how he set that knockout out? You didn't see how he hit it with the dude, hit the dude with the shot that he didn't see, and it opened it up for everything else. But they always just say, man, it's the competition. This ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna that. But they're not gonna say that the Kavaliauskas fight was he was a counter puncher, and he actually, when Bud was trying to be aggressive, he actually showed Bud what he can do very good. And it just cost Kavaliauskas because when Bud turned into that gear, he just was too much for him. Even with the hand speed of Benavidez, he might have had a messed up leg, but he still had sharp hands. He was quick, and Bud had to work to get in on that because it wasn't easy, so he had to wear him down. It's a bunch of fights that I go back and see. I want to say this about Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and it's another fight. I had Errol. I could think about Errol. Oh, and Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia had success with Errol. Danny Garcia is flat-footed. He had success with Errol jab and was able to come over Errol's jab. Now, put Bud footwork in there and his ability to set up counterpunch with the longer arms. All right. Sean Porter. When Errol claimed he wanted to fight his fight, that's bullshit. Errol didn't have the speed, the head movement, the balance to move away from Sean Porter. That's bullshit. Everybody buys into that. Sean Porter took his jab away because I told you his jab is basic when it comes down to athletic guys. And he took his jab away. He had no choice but to fight that fight. That's when I knew confirmation that he wasn't going to beat Crawford. Now, before y'all say I'm comparing Sean Porter and Bud, no, they don't fight the same way, but they got similar disciplines. If you look at how they move and how they close distance and how they range, no, Bud don't jump in like Sean Porter because he's more of a counter puncher than Sean Porter is. Sean Porter is more like I'll get in there and work on you type of guy. But they got similar disciplines. And I think Bud will be able to take Errol's slow ass jab away. The Kell Brook. Kell Brook only got the best jab at welterweight. I didn't see him put that jab on Triple G. I didn't see him put that jab on Bud. I didn't see him put that jab on Errol. I seen him put that jab on Sean Porter and clinch. I seen him put that jab on Amir Khan. But the thing about it is he just don't have the footwork or the ability all around boxing skills to work behind the jab. And I can blame that on from where he grew up under the UK. I don't think they invested enough time in spending. Yes, he had good speed, good strength. He was bigger than most guys, and he was able to dominate people with that jab, but he just never developed his all-around game. So that's why when he fought Spence, all Spence had to do is push him back, and wear him down. Plus, he was coming off the eye injury and the weight cut and the rehydration clause that's naturally built in at the IBF because you can't rehydrate over 10 pounds. So all that took place, and Spence just wore him down. So what I say to this is Spence is a really good fighter. I always thought Spence would be the best until he ran into Terence Crawford. I got Bud stopping him between 8 and 10. I think once Bud really start catching with clean shit, Spence gives off his balance. He leans over his front foot when he gives work to the body. I want somebody to tell me how he gonna touch Bud's body. Every time I ask somebody this shit, they come up with this like he go push him back, bully him. I just don't get it, and I feel like they really just don't understand what Crawford's discipline and who he is. And speaking on Crawford's lack of time really speaking offensively, I think Bud, in the difference from Floyd was more defensively sound, so he didn't give up that much offense or was willing to jeopardize his being hit for offense. Bud is. So when you're an aggressive guy and you're willing to commit to shit, you're going to get hit. So all this Bud get hit. There's a reason why Bud like to sit in certain situations. There's a reason why he don't move in certain situations. Somebody say he don't move to the left is because Bud like to play and he try to gain that angle and keep his lead hand, his strong hand in positions to where he can work on you. And if he move too much, it's going to move him out of range to pick you apart or set up where you're trying to get. And we know Bud like to sit in the kitchen. Last point I want to make for his inside fighting. Volume punching and throwing out of punches doesn't mean you're the better inside fighter. The guy who sits there and pick his shit, know how to work on his shit, know how to place his shit, that's the better inside fighter. Anytime, any day. a lot of guys give credits to dudes that throw a lot of punches and say they're the better inside fighter, so they run into a guy that can sit in there and curl up, dip, put their hands in position so they can catch, pull, and whatever, and they give that guy that throw the more punches the credit. And I don't think Spence is going to be the bully Crawford. I'm going to want to see what Spence does when Crawford walks him down. I want to see what Crawford does when he's sitting in a pocket with Spence, because that punch variety Spence has, man, it's kind of like I'm just working on a bag, and Crawford ain't no fucking bag.
Yeah.
My last point, I don't know where I'm at.
Hey, hey, man, your time. You've been going for like 10 minutes, J Mac. Everybody ready to cook, bro.
My last one. The Mikey Garcia fight.
Okay.
On everything I love. If Errol was as bad as he really was, Errol would have stopped Mikey. You don't need permission. I don't give a fuck what fighting style you claim you wanted to prove. As he dominated Mikey, he'd have got Mikey out of there if he was able and capable of doing it. If he respected Mikey's power, he's going to respect Bud power as well. That's my call. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Q. Go ahead and rebut what he was saying, bro. I know you wanted to say.
Hey, man, this is a prime example of what we be. This is a prime example of what we be talking about, man, when y'all be too extreme, bro. That's disrespectful. Michael Jordan and Terence Crawford. Nigga, Michael Jordan faced elite competition, nigga.
Oh.
You cannot compare that shit the same. Michael Jordan didn't go up against no avocados and no fucking green beans.
Man, I'm an MJ fan. I disagree with that, bro. I'm an MJ fan. I disagree.
Bro. He went up against the best, bro. I wholeheartedly
damn, Marley, can't
Kevin
Johnson, bro. Come on.
I disagree with that one to the fullest, bro. That's too extreme, bro. He's a good, decent fighter. Don't get me wrong. I can rock with the Kobe thing. Yeah. But you talking about Michael Jordan? No, that you can't make that comparison, bro, my bro.
Hey, Q, you
can't do it, bro.
That's
disrespectful. That's disrespectful to the GOAT of basketball.
Hey, Q, though. The Western Conference didn't tell Jordan, though, he was on the wrong side of the street.
No, they
I
didn't.
wouldn't give a goddamn. See, that's excuses y'all making. We
That's
talking
not
about
an
what's on
excuse.
paper
You said
and
that's
what
an
they
excuse.
face. And what they face.
Mr. Q, let me rebut something. You said he was a decent fighter. If he beats Earl twice and goes and beats Jamal, he's gonna be a 3-time undisputed champion. And you're calling him a decent fighter.
But see, ain't none of that done happen though, nerd.
It's a very likely possibility.
Ain't none of that done happen. It ain't gonna happen no way. He gonna get stopped. I see a 6-round TKO. Stop.
Hey, Mr. Q, how many rings did Jordan have, Mr. Q?
Jordan had 6.
And how many times Terence Crawford been champion so far?
Champion against who?
Checkmate.
He's a 6-time champion, right?
A champion against who? I don't respect those exhibitions.
I mean, so okay. Let me ask you this question real quick. This is why
I don't respect those exhibitions. Y'all do.
Okay, so what do you think of Josh Taylor? Because Josh Taylor was undisputed at 140. What do you think of his skill set?
Nah, see, Josh Taylor, he went through some shit. Now that was some real shit. He went through at 140.
Now, but what you think about his skill set? You think he a top level fighter?
I think Josh Taylor. You got to say Josh Taylor a top level fighter. Why
Do you know he arguably lost to the man?
General.
He arguably lost to Victor Postol, the man that Terence Crawford dominated when he was undefeated. You know that? So you say he hasn't fought any elite fighters, but Jose Ramirez really lost to Victor Postol, who was unified at 140, and they robbed him.
That's what y'all know with that, really. But what happened though?
Now, but you keep saying that he hasn't fought. Postol was elite. Postol stopped Matisse, the first man to ever stop Lamont Peterson, the one that y'all give Errol Spence a bunch of credit for beating. Matisse was the first man to stop him. Then Postol stopped Matisse, and then Crawford went and beat him that very next fight and damn near won every round. Victor Postol was an elite level fighter, sir.
All right, watch this here, sir. What Victor Postol done after that, sir?
Q.
I don't know nothing really.
That's our point. That's why we don't respect that shit, bro.
Q, no,
because what they do afterwards, it don't.
I thought he beat Ramirez, and a lot of people did as well.
Is it Q? What is it, Mr. Q? Q? What it is?
Yeah, it's Q. It's cool. What's good?
All right. Hey, I mean, I give your rebuttal credit on the MJ because he's still like shaping his his pathway, and I more because MJ did so much in the evolutionized the game. He didn't came and gone.
Hello,
His
you
career is
breaking up.
there. I don't know why. Can you hear me?
Nah, he sound crispy, Q. Some might be wrong
Uh,
with your phone, bro.
Can you
So
repeat that again?
I said MJ did so much, but I compared Bud's competitive drive to MJ, and he still got to shape his career. So let me say this: if Bud go ahead and beat Spence, he was undisputed at 140. He go undisputed at 147. He fights Charlo and go undisputed. That's a three-peat right there. That's a like, and obviously he'll be undefeated most of the time to go ahead and get that. So what would that whole weight to the Jordan comparison to you? But I only compared his competitive nature. If you really heard what I said.
Yeah, well,
Hold on, y'all. Let me ask you this, J Mac, because I see where you're trying to go, but let me ask you this. This is my rebuttal to you.
Go ahead.
Kobe didn't have a competitive nature.
No, Kobe did, but bro, like
it was just as serious as Michael's, if not worse.
Much
in my opinion.
Ooh, that's
okay,
a good one.
okay. No,
he was way more dedicated to basketball than Jordan. If we being honest,
Jordan had a gambling.
He wasn't out partying, smoking cigars, drinking. Kobe didn't do none of that shit, bro.
Jordan had yellow eyes.
So that's why I compare Bud to Kobe. But go ahead.
But I'm not trying to get on the Jordan Kobe thing. I'm a bigger Jordan fan than Kobe.
That's cool.
But I think Jordan is greater though. So if Bud does the things he does in the sport, and if he go ahead and get this undisputed, that's enough for me because that's two weight classes back to back. If he get the Charlo, that's only icing on the tape. But that ain't gonna be easy for him to get Charlo.
Can I rebut you real quick, brother?
Go ahead.
I don't think Terence Crawford has ever taken a retirement to go play another sport. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't, but like I think y'all digging into it a little deep. I really do.
We going super deep with this shit.
Can we compare Bud to an actual fighter? I mean, these basketball analogies are kind of killing me. Probably because I don't know too much about it.
Hold on, Dre. You can't do that because hold on. The subject at hand was what Errol Spence said in the interview. So that's why
I was joking, bro. I said you ain't hear what I said. I said because I said I don't know too much about it. I was just messing around with y'all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's why we talking about it. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just messing with y'all.
But even if you compare to an individual fighter, I mean, who have undisputed in two different weight classes?
No, I was gonna say who Bud remind me of in boxing because I don't know nothing about basketball. But
let's do that. Who does he remind you of in boxing?
Marvelous Hagler, bro. Because look at how Marvelous had to come up. First of all, they froze him out till they couldn't. Ted Kennedy, a senator, bro, a federal senator, had to step in and tell Bob Arum that, listen, bro, we gonna launch an indictment into your business if you don't give Marvin a shot. I mean, look, they froze Bud out until Spence had no other options. You know, that's one. And secondly, how Crawford came up. Crawford was a diamond in the rut. You know, see, Spence he's nothing like Sugar Ray Leonard at all, but he had the Sugar Ray Leonard treatment, you know, TV exposure. They already was pushing him on Spike and Bounce TV and all that. Crawford had to come up from sparring Timothy Bradley after being pro for years. Cameron Duncan didn't even know what he had on his hands. So the reason why I think Crawford beat Spence, it doesn't even have nothing to do with skills. It's basically his
will. Can I
will.
please rebut you real quick? Just on one thing you just said.
Go ahead.
You telling me Bud Crawford didn't have the worldwide leader in sports with ESPN body shot? Boom.
Not in the no, it's no body shot because not in the beginning.
Boom.
Not in the beginning, bro.
Not in the beginning, bro.
No. But didn't he not have the biggest machine in the sports world right now today in television?
I don't think you're not contextualizing what I'm saying, my brother. Not in the beginning. He had to work his way to that. Because Marvelous had the world handed to him too before the Sugar Ray Leonard fight. But Marvelous had to work his way. They wouldn't even call a man Marvelous. He had to change his name to Marvelous.
I get where you're going, Dre, because like I stated earlier at the beginning of the show when I was cooking, that's why I compared him to Kobe, because Kobe was a highly touted individual coming out of high school. But whenever he got into the pros, he didn't sniff the fucking court. So everything Kobe got, he earned it. He got it out the mud. So that's another reason how I tied them two together. But go ahead.
And Terence, and another thing, Terence had to suffer. So Shakur and Teofimo and even Jared Anderson could shine because they're not struggling now. They're getting paid well and they're getting promoted properly. So obviously Bob Arum is learning from his mistakes, and the younger talent is doing amazingly now.
Y'all are discounting the fact that when you're an Olympian, it affords you that. Terence Crawford was not an Olympian. All those fighters, the fighters that you just named, Marvin Hagler was not an Olympian. When you're an Olympian, you get the publicity. It's always been that way. Traditionally, it's just always been that way.
No,
if you want, it's always
been that way for people who won the gold medal. Spence lost in the Olympics, bro.
But it not necessarily. Floyd didn't fucking win. Floyd didn't win. Floyd didn't win a gold medal.
Floyd ended up being second fiddle. He getting treated like second
robbed,
fiddle.
That's what exactly. Floyd was
second fiddle.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let make a good point. If you look at the superstars in boxing that had, first of all, they were all gold medalists. Muhammad Ali was a gold medalist. Sugar Ray Leonard was a gold medalist. Holyfield, Evander Holyfield was a gold medalist.
Roy Jones too, right? Wasn't Roy Jones a gold medalist?
Roy lost, but
they robbed him.
They robbed him. But we get it. I'm just saying, the Olympics gives you the visibility. So they're the
gold medals does, my brother. Gold medals.
The Olympics period. If you get a silver medal in the Olympics, it's gonna mean something.
Yeah, man. If you're on the world stage, bro, the world is watching you. They know your name. They know who you are. That's why you go to the Olympics.
Norris, because look at Shakur.
Another example.
The Olympics plays a part in it, but it's nothing guaranteed because you got gold medalists like Andre Wall who didn't get the love that he was supposed to get. So, like, I agree with the person where they say when the Olympics does open up doors, but it depends on who you get with, who you promote with, who's promoting you, the type of fighters you got around your weight class. All that plays a part.
Look what it's doing for Keyshawn Davis right now.
EJ Black Floyd's eye. Let's just call it what it is. He blacked his fucking eye, and everybody was talking about him, and that's what pumped him up.
Nate Jones said that didn't happen though.
Also, too,
whatever. I'm just saying. They say. I'm just saying.
Nate Jones said he was there though. Nate Jones said he was there.
I mean, whatever. I'm just saying. They said that he gave him. They said that he gave him that work. They gave him that work, and that's what got him
name
out.
started buzzing. That's a very fucking valid point, Mr. Norris.
Derek also said that didn't happen. That's a tall tale, and that's a part of Errol's sparring with Floyd.
Derek who said that?
Derek James. Derek James
wasn't there when they sparred.
When Derek James said that?
Derek James wasn't there when they sparred. Him and Floyd sparred.
Hey, listen.
Hold on. When did Derek James say that?
I'm telling you, when I met Derek personally, I stay in Dallas. I met Derek personally. He said that didn't happen. He told us that Floyd. Can I get it out? He said none of that happened. So whether if Derek was there, or he was told by a reliable source that it didn't happen from Spence, and he told us exactly what happened, and Spence was right there. So like what I'm telling you is what Derek told me personally, and I do want to go back to when Q said with the top ring and the big. You can say he had ESP and the big Bud, but Bud wasn't getting the backing that Top Ring normally brings because he still could not get the big fights. So when you made the comment saying, I think when the dude compared him to Marvin Hagler, I do agree with Marvin Hagler comparison. And even when he got with Bob in Top Ring, he still wasn't being able to get in position to step into his stardom. So that's a perfect comparison.
Plus, you got to also remember Bob Arum is the most hated promoter in boxing.
No, he's
and you
not.
got to the PBC.
No,
he's not now. But I'm saying the PBC niggas that froze Bob out. Niggas wasn't fucking with Bob like that.
My man, you can't froze Bob out when he is one of the most successful.
Okay, put it to you this way. Put it to you this way. What I'm telling you is, I'm telling you that all the glamour was at the PBC. They was not fucking with Bob. He had Manny Pacquiao, and who else? Who the fuck else?
Hold on, but see, when you can't
in history,
you can't state.
No, I'm talking
Bud
about.
Knew that, and he still stayed. He still resigned anyway.
My man, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. See, that's another thing y'all do, and I hope come July 29th, some of y'all wake up and listen. I ain't trying to insult nobody. I think y'all can actually learn a lot of boxing when y'all watch this fight. A lot of like a few dudes said on here. I think a lot of dudes put this put this hate on Bud, and what you call it? And like Q said, he
We
hate his
love
fans.
Bud.
Hey, he hate his fans, but bro, if you really look at and go back how Bud fans start, Bud didn't have a lot of fans. A lot of people, Bud had to work his way to get where he was, like the Marlon Hagler. Bud had to earn his fans, and every now and then a fan or two join the fan club, and y'all start calling us delusional and all this stuff. And so come July 29th, when that day happened, I ain't gonna call it no fish fry. I just think the superior fighter go dominate and win. So like the point you was making with Bob Arum history and what he does in the sport, PBC had a problem. Everybody else don't mind working with Bob as long as in his best interest for their particular fighter or in that weight class. PBC was the one that started creating this backdoor with Bob or this cross the street because it was okay
Bullshit.
to
Bob Arum sued Al Heyman. Bob Arum sued Al Heyman, bro.
They settled that too. They also settled that.
I know, but what I'm telling you is Bob Arum was the one that sued him. They said we not doing business with you. We not fucking with you.
That happens in the sport. Oscar De La Hoya sued them too.
They still do business.
Another example, Bob Arum and Don King was in the middle of a lawsuit with Bob Arum, and they made a big fight. So that's always been the case.
PBC didn't have no superstars except for Floyd, man. Stop acting like PBC was bringing in box number pay-per-views. They couldn't freeze out Bob because their business was tanking. Why y'all think Fox left?
They had they had the champions. What you talking about?
They wasn't generating no money on the major stage,
That's the reason
though.
why Bob sued them. Because he's like, you're not giving my guys a shot at those belts. What are you talking about?
Somebody said PBC had the glamour. They've been losing money for years. There's no glamour over there.
They got
losing record in all that. I don't got access to no balance sheets and all that shit.
No, I'm saying they got a losing record for his fighters. They have a losing record when you compare them to the zone fighters and PBC fighters and what they have fighters have a losing record. You look that
glamour.
Hey, with the business thing, you can't hold a business dog. They are like DA, defense attorney, and a prosecutor. Them motherfuckers laugh, but in court they go after each other. Like they go take care of business, and that's how the business of boxing work. So you can't judge one crook in the suit and not also give the other crook in the suit the same benefit of the doubt. They both crooks. They both crooks. They both go do what's best for their brand. They both, when they got the top fighter, is gonna try to in-house it and try to make as much money. So Al Heyman, promoter, advisor, whatever you want to call him, all of the above. He did the same thing Bob did when Bob had the best fighter and was trying to keep it in-house when he reran that Tim Bradley bullshit back to back to back. So like that's just the way it is.
The only difference is though the reason why he sued them though is because he was overpaying the fighters and it ended up biting them in their ass because he was paying fighters more money against lesser fighters, and then when it came time for them to fight the bigger fighters, they didn't have the same money, and then that's where the problem started. So they came up with a good idea, but didn't all the way execute it properly with the free TV and all that. They didn't execute it properly, and then they didn't have a plan B initially, and that's why we started seeing all the big fights on pay-per-view.
Anybody know when the fight was announced with Spence and Crawford? Anybody remember the date?
I don't.
Well, I went on.
That's a good ass question.
I just don't understand. I wonder why, if y'all would have did y'all part as far as supporting y'all man in them exhibition fights or whatever. Maybe we could have got those fights a whole lot.
You gotta stop calling them exhibition fights. You gotta stop disrespecting the fighters.
Man,
you acting like these guys are not professional fighters.
It's cool.
Like they wouldn't rank.
That's why Errol Spence is a bet. That's why he's an underdog in this fight.
Hey Q,
that means more bet money for me. Shit.
Q, I got a question. Q, I got a question.
I'm just saying, if y'all would have done y'all part, maybe because like I say, he's y'all fighter, but y'all don't even support those fighters.
You know why we did our part, my brother? The arena's almost sold out. The arena's almost sold out. That's how we did our part.
In Vegas, odds in Vegas, so we doing our part. So that says a whole lot.
Hey Q, you know
that's just
Hey, hold on, y'all. Mr. INTJ, you wanted to ask Q something, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question because like this question for him. Now he specifically said like Bud ain't fought nobody, which we gonna go ahead and agree with that. I mean I'm not really agreeing with him. I'm just saying I'm agree with that. Here go my question. He talked about the Bud fanatics and all this other stuff. Can anybody on this panel tell me how many times you seen a Bud fan going up trying to fight Errol Spence?
Yeah.
Can anybody on this panel show me how many videos you pull up?
That's a hell of a question.
This Earl City. This Earl City.
Say that one more time. Ask that question one more time.
I mean, have anybody got any video?
No, but I will say this. Hey, just to interject, I was in Jerry World for EJ comeback fight against Danny Garcia, and when I was going to get one of them cowboy cheesesteak shits, I ran into one of Bud Crawford's guys on the and then I know it was one of his guys because they had on the sweatsuits and shit. And I was telling them like, I said, that's good. It's about time he showed up because Bud was at that fight.
I was there. You talking about the Danny one? You talking about Danny one? I was there. You talking about Chance?
Yeah, he was there. Bud was there, and he had a lot of. And he had a lot of his team members there and shit. And I ran into him and I was like, damn, I said, so y'all think we gonna get this EJ fight? And he's like, yeah, when EJ stopped bullshitting. And I was like, man, come on with that bullshit. And they got real aggressive, bro. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I had to tell the dude, listen, man, I don't mean no disrespect, bro, but this grown man shit, bro. You can back up out my face and shit, bro, for real. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for real. Like, it almost got physical.
Bro. I was. You have to realize I was in there. I got receipts too. I go to all them fights. I was in there. What I'm saying is,
I got my ticket stub. I got the program right here.
Same here. Here. What I'm saying is, it was people there. I know this for a fact. My buddy's from Dallas. Like I noticed.
He had his whole squad with him. Then he had his whole crew with him.
It was hold on, let him finish. I want to hear this story. Go ahead, Mr. INTJ. Go ahead.
It was like 20 or 30 people with Bud. That's why I was asking was Chance there. I was trying to ask you who you spoke to if you say it was somebody in this camp. Because what I'm saying is,
all I remember it was a slim dude. I want to say he had some braids. It was a slim dude. I just remember it was a white girl. He was with a white chick, with like a little thick ass white chick, and they both had on the TBC Bud Crawford suits. I don't remember the dude's name. I mean, I don't know his name and shit.
No, that's why I was asking. That's why I'm trying to make sure. I'm like, I might have ran into you. That's why I'm just asking. That's why I'm asking that, because the reason why I'm saying that, it was 4 or 5 people trying to fight them. We got ready to go through the gate. People throwing shit.
If you remember, did you run into a dude that had on some Timbs and some Timbs and some jeans and a flannel and shit? Do you remember that? Having a debate in front of the little where they sell them cheesesteak shits. If you remember that, nigga, that was me. And I told your man, back up before I go in this shit.
Hey,
for real.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't like. I that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to remember. I feel like this. When I'm cool with this, I'm gonna figure out who. Just I got you. Don't even worry about that.
Hold on, y'all. So Mr. INTJ, the point that you were trying to make was you ain't never seen a Terence Crawford fan run up on Errol, correct?
Yes, I've seen multiple cases. That's what I was going to say. When I was there, I'm looking like, it was one dude was hollering from a hotel. I'm like, what the like? It was fucking me up because it's kind of like, man, where is some of these people coming from? Like this heat. I'm talking people literally get up in Bud's face. I'm kind of like, if y'all knew how Bud was, I swear to God, y'all wouldn't be doing none of that. I put that on my life, y'all, because that thinking like him trying to like get loud in front of people. I'm telling y'all, dude will go right in the back and get with it. I'm talking about no questions asked. And the reason why I'm saying that, he's saying the fanatics, like EJ fans, like it shocked me. Like, man, you willing to get the dog sleeves beat off of you to like impress this man who don't even know you exist. Like that, I've never seen nothing like that in my life. Like, and he can show me some videos of him seeing. I can show him like 10 or 15 videos of the EJ fan taking shit too far. So what I'm trying to say is it's a bias there, and even though he not want to admit it's a bias there, like they fans take it too far. Like it's boxing, but once you start trying to go and fight this man when that's EJ battle, like that says a whole lot as a fan thing. So
I mean, don't get me wrong, it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. You got some extreme Errol Spence fans, you know what I'm saying? They take it too far. But I'm saying,
but you ain't got no videos. What I'm saying, you ain't got videos. We got receipts of that. That's your opinion. We got receipts.
Oh no, man. Say, man, y'all got niggas that want to fight niggas.
Okay, what are receipts?
You don't know boxing.
We asking what a receipt at
all the time.
Okay, cool. What a receipt at?
Shit, I'm talking about from my personal experience. Shit,
so now
I got you.
I'm
the receipt. You know, all I'm saying in a nutshell is, if y'all would have did y'all part and supported them fights in the get-go, both ways, not just one way, all the way around, maybe we could have got this fight a whole lot.
I would agree with you, but EJ said something in Oklahoma that he's on the phone. He said he's on promoter. That's when I had to disagree with you, because EJ called himself and said, hey, this EJ on the phone. He said, I'm EJ promoter. That's what he said. I didn't say that. That's something your boy said. And all I heard was crickets. Like, if he is promoter, what the hell happened there? Like, that's my question.
he got an advisor, and his advisor wanted him to do something else at the time.
Well, why can't he just say that? Why would he trying to play this boss? Like, what I'm saying, it's all stunning for the camera. Like, you doing that trying to make like the man stunning, knowing damn well you got a motherfucking manager that gets 5 to 7% of your salary. So let's stop the capping. And in fact, he had to hire a new management team to make sure he wasn't getting robbed in the back end. There's a lot of stuff that they were talking about Bud and AB didn't put Bud on game about money and stuff missing on the back end of PBC, like Bob was doing. Like, it's a whole lot that the PBC doing that.
But the first thing the buddies did was ran with it, talking about, oh, he fired Al Heyman.
No, he didn't fire Al Heyman. No, he didn't fire
no Al Heyman.
No.
Yeah, that was weird. That was really weird.
I don't know why people even ran with that, man.
No.
Instead of reading.
Do anything.
He just give somebody else look at his money. It's finance. You can't knock it.
Y'all know what's crazy though? Well, I'm telling y'all some crazy shit though. I said this about 2 years ago. I was like, I got a funny feeling that 5 to 10 years from now and shit, you gonna see pictures of them niggas kicking it together, dog. Because they remind me so much of each other, dog. They remind me so.
Who you talking about? You talking about Bud and Earl?
Oh, hell yeah. Just their demeanor, you know what I'm saying? Just like EJ.
They don't remind me nothing of each other.
Let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean, bro. Let me explain what I mean. Both of them dudes is them dudes that in high school, they fight, like they fight and they like to fight. Like they gon' fight. You know what I'm saying? They family men and they not with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You don't see them out with a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You don't see them really. Maybe I guess you see Bud, EJ having a little bit of fun and shit. You know what I'm saying? A little bit younger, having a little bit of fun, a little newer to the game, so to speak. But you don't see. I mean, I'm not in Dallas, my G. But I'm just saying, they demeanor on camera. You don't really hear them talking a lot of shit unless you talk some shit to them, and then they talking back. I can see them boys being good friends and shit down the line. For real.
10, 15 years, but I don't think none of the media.
I don't know, bro. I just heard both of them say in each one of their interviews that, you know, they cordial, but they ain't friends. So
character shows. I think Bud.
Yo, but Bud is a lot meaner, a whole lot meaner.
I mean, if they was about to fight, we can't even say that because shit, Bud was cool with Porter.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you know,
even in terms of character, though, character shows when Crawford get in trouble, he figures it out and overcome it. When Spence get in trouble, he throws a bunch of low blows. I mean, the Lamont Peterson fight, a bunch of low blows. The Ugas fight, a bunch of low blows. The Porter fight, a bunch. That says a lot about your character.
Do that with Bud though. Bud gonna throw them hoes right back. He ain't
bro, y'all niggas know when you commit to the body, bro, some of them going straight, bro. I'm not gonna sit up there and say I don't think he targeting the cup, bro.
No, he hits way too much not to target the cup, bro.
You ain't see the Porter fight, bro?
I was at the Porter fight.
We breaking you down.
The Porter fight.
He consecutively hit, like, I think it was like round 4. He literally hit him with like 5 low blows when he had him on the ropes, and that's when the ref was like, "Come on, Earl, you gotta bring him up."
What's crazy about that fight too?
Warned, but he never get a point taken away.
You know what's crazy about that fight too? He was creating a narrative that Sean Porter was the dirty fighter.
Heading into the fight. Facts.
Yeah, character shows, man.
That is
he got to stop putting that mouthpiece out too. He got to stop putting that mouthpiece out too as an emergency parachute. Like, that's kind of like not cool. Every time he get buckled, his mouthpiece spit off. Then he get look for it. Then when he start getting pieced up, that ain't cool.
He did the same thing in the Van Herden fight.
I just can't wait to see this fight, regardless of who wins. You know, and we as fans, as aficionados, whatever you want to call us, man. Like, we just really fortunate to see some shit like this, you know what I'm saying, in our lifetime. And plus coming up into the new era with all these new young guns that's coming up, man. It's just an exciting time, man, to be a part of this beautiful sport, man. For real.
It's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right.
I just hope a whole lot of people.
Hold on, y'all. Who that?
I got a question. I'm gonna tell you. Like, I will say one thing about Bud. I ain't gonna throw him on the bus. Like younger, because I'm older than him. But younger, like, he used to pick on my little cousin. You know, he's bigger now. Like, Bud was a bully. Like, I'm keeping.
Oh, you from Nebraska?
Yeah. He was a bully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ugly ass niggas is like that and shit.
I'm keeping it. I don't live there no more. I'm saying I'm keeping it 100. Like, you know, I'm older than them. But I'm saying, like, I remember younger, like, my little cousin Clifford, because they grew up on Lattimore. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of fucked up, like, me seeing, like, damn, Bud turned out to be Like it's kind of crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, to see that, like, you know, the time, like, go, you know, from what it used to be. And I ain't gonna lie, I'll tell you this, even though I'm from there, like, I wasn't going for Bud at first, and I went what's called with Blu-ray, because I'm in the strength and conditioning, you know, business. So I'm kind of like, I look at that. But then when I seen EJ get injured, it kind of changed my whole perspective, because I know what happens when you got two athletes and one get injured, and they both are close to the same peak. That athlete that got injured is gonna take them twice the type of work, and that ain't including recovery time, to try to edge to get to where the other athlete is. Not trying to say that the other athlete's gonna stay better than him, but it's like I don't think EJ have enough time. I mean, considering like
catch up, to
catch up, and Bud was healthy, taking no bad foods, no drinking, no none of that stuff. So it's kind of like that's where I feel it. And then I keep saying that when Bud switched right hand, I don't care what none of the people that's EJ fans. I'm nothing against y'all. Like, I keep in mind, I was looking at EJ in 2013 and 14, and I'm not trying to say too much, but I'll just say this: anybody that was saying about that sparring when they say that Earl got off on Floyd, that when they got this sparring, what people don't talk about, Floyd had just got out of jail. That was for the Guerrero fight. Look this up. Floyd had just got out of jail, and Floyd had did what 2 7-8-minute rounds. And all this stuff could be checked out. Like, and this ain't me making this up. None of all these receipts can be checked out. Like, and Floyd was fresh out of jail, huh?
Floyd said that.
Yeah, I heard him say it.
He said
I heard him say it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say, I'm like, oh, you lying? I'm saying, like, I say this stuff can be verified, but basically, what I'm saying is, like, people don't realize Earl was messing with Blu-ray at that time. So meaning, what happens is when Floyd get in the ring, usually when he spar, he don't like do what people thinking he do. He get in there and bang. Like, it kind of like it's weird. But I'll just say this: that day that they was going tit for tat, it wasn't no like Floyd just beating nobody ass. It was almost like nobody ever saw somebody like just go back at it with Floyd. Like, it was kind of like they never saw that shit before. Usually Floyd, even if he didn't spar 3 or 4 different people, his conditioning was on a whole other level. But he had been in jail, and then, he got some licks off, and by him tagging it, Earl getting the respect. They took that little sparring session, and they're not gonna tell you, or they'll ask you about Earl when he sparred Floyd after that. And you hear interview Earl, you read between the line, Earl say, "No, I realize he real strong. He like a cat. You can't just do what you want to do." Meaning that the pressure shit must not have been working no more. You see what I'm saying?
That's an assumption. That's an assumption. That's not a fact. That's what.
No. All I'm saying is this. Everybody. That's how he got his reputation. It was because of the sparring with Floyd. That's all I'm saying. Like the hype was from that era.
Can y'all hear me?
I mean, it was though. That is really. I mean, because we got a lot of.
I'm talking about when you said that the pressure must not have been working. That's an assumption.
No, because the first time, you gotta realize, like, Floyd does not how we thinking. Floyd, when he's sparring, he don't get in there and like he moving. No, Floyd get in there and bang. Like it's kind of, that's why I'm surprised he don't got no fucking head damage. I guess because he got on gloves, but Floyd get in there and bang. And after the sparring, when he because he got back in shape, that's when he didn't bring Earl back directly. Floyd's smart. Floyd waited till he got back in shape. That's when you heard you heard EJ say on the interviews, like maybe like 8 or 9 months after that, he's like, yeah, Floyd after the end, how strong, and Floyd like Katie, like he need to go ahead and just step down, let me take over the welterweight division. That's when he started asking Keith Thurman, because you got to realize Keith Thurman was calling out Floyd then. He was like Floyd's mandatory at that time, and he started trying to put EJ on him. Wow, if you beat him, you can fight me. You can look all this up.
We remember he said, I'm gonna vacate my belt and tell Keith Thurman fight Errol for it. We heard all that.
Yeah, that's
that was when he was like, I'm fighting either Andre Berto or Kareem Mayfield.
Question for the panel.
Glasses on and shit. I remember that shit standing outside.
Yeah.
Yo,
question for the panel though.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
So, go ahead, pop your shit, J Mac. Go ahead, bro.
Oh.
Y'all go ahead. Maybe something going on with his mic, man. Y'all go ahead.
Question for the panel. Since Keith was calling out Floyd, how would that fight go?
You say what, boxing nerd?
Keith and Floyd, and we're talking Keith before the injury and all that other stuff.
Floyd would have walked his ass. Floyd would have walked his ass down.
Yeah, he learns too much.
He would have walked him down.
Thurman stopped getting stoppages at the top level, and that's why I mess with Buzz so much, because Buzz still getting stoppages at the top level, but at the top level he stopped getting knockouts.
At the top level.
Yeah, injury played a key.
Here, Mr. Q. Here comes Mr.
Sean Porter wasn't the top level.
Oh my God!
Sean Porter wasn't the top level.
He was the top. He was the top level. He was the top level in the sense of he was one of the best. He was an ex-champion. He was at the top level in terms of he was the ex-champion. But if you really want to get technical about it, Sean Porter was really Well, Danny Garcia is kind of the runt, but after Danny Garcia, Sean Porter is really the runt. Was the runt out of all of them? Really,
He
Sean
had to
Porter.
do it
What
in
I'm
the
saying is
South.
Porter was never
He
stopped.
didn't
Porter
really
never came
stop
close to
Pop.
being stopped, and
He
Bud
didn't really
stopped him.
stop
That's all I'm
Porter.
saying.
I mean,
He
stop,
really didn't
but he got
stop. He
beat.
really didn't
He
stop
got
Porter
beat.
though.
Hey,
He got beat.
Keith Thurman stopped being able to put his shit together to get at the elite level. That's what it was to me. It ain't about who he was fighting. If you got a guy like Keith Thurman who try to set traps, I just didn't think he could put his shit and put his power effectively together at the top level. So
This for
due
Mr.
to,
Q. My bad, bro. Go ahead.
So that's what I'm
due to
saying.
the lack
David
of
Abbott.
due
Oh,
to
go
the
ahead.
lack of his time in and out the ring, look at what Keith did. But I don't think Bud hits harder than Keith. I think he got the harder punch, but I don't think he can put the punches together to get the knockouts. Two different ways
I
of
agree.
how dudes knock each
ahead.
other out.
I totally disagree. You know what my rebuttal will be to that. The thing is with dudes like Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, they both throw with all their might on mostly every punch. Bud switches the range and the trajectory of
We
his
saying the
shot. So
same
he,
thing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We saying the
no,
same thing.
no.
That's the
You.
same thing.
The reason why I say Keith Thurman don't hit, I don't think he hit harder than Bud because Bud don't like when Keith Thurman fought
Of
Porter.
course you don't.
Every shot he was throwing was a kill shot.
You ain't
Crawford don't
lying,
throw kill
boy.
shots.
Ooh, you ain't
Bro,
lying, boy. That boy, ooh, shit.
listen. Arguably, I agree with you, but I think when it comes to single punching power, I think Keith is the hardest hitting welterweight. And I mean, I think he got the power. I just
He
don't think
Why
was.
doesn't
he
he
can put
have
it
any
Was.
together.
Man,
stoppages on the
I'm gonna
top
tell you
level?
something.
I just
He can
told
crack,
you.
man.
His
I
punches
just
too
told
fast.
you.
His
I
Why
punches
just
too
doesn't he
told
fast.
have
you
any stoppages on the top
because
level?
You can see him punches
it
coming.
takes more
No, it's
than just
because
power. It takes more than just power at the elite level. You gotta be
no,
able to put that shit together.
it's because Danny broke his elbow. He's not the same no more, bro.
What was that dude name he fought when he
That's a
came
fair
back
point,
before he
Box.
fought Thurman?
That's a fair
Come
point.
on, Barrios.
Barrios.
Probably
No,
not.
No,
my
not
guys.
Barrios.
Good point,
The
Box.
dude before him, the one that got
I know you're talking about.
the one that had like 3 losses.
Lopez.
Lopez.
Yeah.
Lopez.
Josecito Lopez. Like,
Tito
bro,
Lopez, yeah.
he couldn't knock him out. Boy was
You can
stopped 3
fuck that.
times going into that fight.
Hold on. Fuck that.
But
What about Mario Barrios? He couldn't even knock him out.
Yeah, but guys, he
listen,
broke his elbow. His elbow is like his all his
And that's
power.
fair
Like,
to say, but
his
still.
arm. Come on, man.
it's elbow, and I get it, but it still takes more
He
than
ain't break
power.
his elbow, man.
No,
It takes
Danny
more
Danny broke Danny
It takes
broke
Bro,
more
no,
than
he
punching power,
didn't,
man.
bro. He
It takes more than
didn't.
punching power.
I don't know why Nerd keeps spreading because me and Nerd got history. That's my brother. But Nerd, there never was no emphatic proof that he broke his elbow. How he broke his elbow and Keith Thurman was still throwing punches in the latter rounds, bro. He didn't break his
Hey,
elbow.
it's all
No, he had bone
adrenaline, man.
spurs. He had cracked his what's had bone spurs in his what's called. He had to get removed.
Cut it out, Nerd. Cut it out.
No,
Same way with Keith Thurman said he was in a car accident going into the Porter fight, and it was never. Kenny Porter said we looked up proof in that same state and never found none. Keith Thurman, a pump faker, man.
He had to get surgery 2 weeks after, I think.
He posted a pitch. Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
No, it's documented proof he had to get surgery on his elbow.
Now, was documented was the picture he put on Twitter with a sling in his arm, bro. I need to see some reports, man. That's what's documented. Right?
No, but hey, not to switch up the topic too much. They talk about
Man, I'm
Terence
just
Crawford's
curious.
chin.
Do y'all think Boots are pump faking?
No,
Yes, of
no,
course
no.
we do.
Listen.
Come
Can I
on,
get
now.
All
Hey, I
over
got
there.
a
It's duck sauce
promo.
all over there. Duck sauce
I'm
everywhere.
glad you brought up. I'm glad you brought up Boots. Hey, I did want to say this about Boots. Somebody said Boots was more natural as a switch hitter.
That was me.
That was Mr.
That's me.
Norris.
That was me.
Okay.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Well, let me get at that. It's funny how he was so natural, and all I could do is the fight when he fought what I forget the dude's
Curchin.
name.
Curchin.
No.
Or Karen.
Talking about his
Karen.
last fight. You
Karen.
talking about his last fight?
His
You
last
talking about
fight.
Karen?
The dude that was determined to run. Go ahead.
No, hold on, player. But
Nah,
you
that
can't
nigga had
take away.
footwork.
You can't hold
Footwork.
on. You can't say who was determined to run because Mr. So Natural and switching was supposed to be so dominant and what have. What Booth's problem is, in my opinion, Booth is too he's too athletic and too he fights with a rhythm. And as soon as Cameron broke that rhythm, he couldn't put the shit together. So you got one guy who's more natural at doing it, established rhythm, dictating. And as soon as Booth got in there with a guy who wouldn't sit still, so he couldn't pick him apart. Like that guy, you got to add that to where Booth's at and when he learning how to switch and dictate range. I think
Yeah, he
Booth
was
still
switching
need
too
to
much.
learn how to. I think Booth need to learn how to the dude know how to fight and he definitely a talent. But I think he just like too much of a athletic guy
on what he do. It's like he fight like at a beat in a certain rhythm.
You saying
And
he
as
be
soon as
doing
somebody
too much?
So you saying
Nah,
he
you know
rely?
the problem
You
with
saying he
Boots?
rely on
no,
his
no, 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 no,
athleticism?
no, 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 no. I'm not saying he's doing too much. What I'm saying is he depends on a certain rhythm. If you look at how he fights, it's a rhythm that he fights in. It's like he doing a cadence. When I teach boxing, I teach cadence, and it looked like Boots has the same cadence. And when he got a guy that broke his rhythm, he could not put the punch together. He could not get the step back jab, counter punch, pull counter. He could not do all these things. Step around, anchor you, make you freeze up, then step around and create another. He didn't have that
Oh
because
shit!
Karen took that away from him. So
You
when
know
I
the
say
problem.
he fights at the same, I'm almost finished. When I say he fights at with athleticism and a rhythm, I just think he stays stuck on the same cadence and being more experienced, like fighting guys like Crawford. Crawford can switch up the cadence and fight at the rhythm he want to fight at. Go ahead.
The problem is with Boots is, and I'm out of Philly. There's no bias stuff because you know he from my town. I'm a major fan of him. But the problem is with Boots is Boots has the same problem Errol Spence have. They do their best work against fighters coming to them or standing still. The reason
Yep.
why I say Terence Crawford is a way better switch hitter because Crawford actually knows how to track dudes down and moving, and he knows how to throw. The problem with Boots was throwing at the target and not throwing where the target is going to be. Crawford is an expert in throwing where the target is going to be. And that's literally the separation. Bro need to learn how to like throw where the target needs to be. He needs to move his front foot firstly before his back foot and go to the body more. But I mean, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna pass it. When it comes to Terence Crawford and Jerron Boots innings and switch hitting, man, Crawford is light years, and I mean light years better than Jerron Innings, man. Light years.
Hey man, it's been 3 hours, y'all. Let's go ahead and wrap this shit up. I gotta wake up in the morning, bro. Going out to Mr. INTJ. Closing thoughts, man.
Oh yeah, it was a good spiel, and I appreciate like everybody like input, like just I'm just quick on this little boost thing right there before we get off for tonight. But basically, the thing with the boost is I think that him throwing such hard punches, he doesn't get the person comfortable like Bud to do some tap to where you get comfortable, then you can take the punches. Where you can sit still to be caught. You start off hitting somebody like Boots hitting a legend how hard he hit, you're gonna try to get out the way. You're not gonna sit still to even set up anything. That's his issue. If he had a good boxing IQ, he'd have got like a frog in the pot. He'd have warmed it up for him, let him get comfortable, and then trap him. And other than that, that's my little spiel for the night. Let everybody get their thing. And it's good chat. I appreciate being on the panel.
Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Nebraska. All right, going out to JMac 504. Closing thoughts, man.
Hey, shout out to y'all for having me. They got a lot of knowledgeable brothers on
You
here.
sound low, bro. I can barely hear what you're
Okay.
saying, bro.
I can't fix it. I think that's why y'all had a hard time hearing me. Can
Yeah,
you hear me
yeah,
now?
yeah.
Okay. All I got, my last closing thought is Bud stop and Spence within 8 to 12. I'll expend 12, give Spence that credit. And Q, all that stuff you've been saying about the expeditions and all that shit. When Bud knocks Spence out, I want to hear your excuse or you gonna give him credit. Because what you saying when you saying he ain't been fighting nobody, but he fighting D guy and he beats D guy, you gonna have to change that stance. That's all I got on that.
I already appreciate you, JMac. All right, going out to Mr. Norris. Closing thoughts, man.
Hey man, it's my first time interacting with a lot of y'all, man. I appreciate it, man. This is hope to see some of y'all at the fight. We'll definitely be back here to talk about it. I got Errol winning. Again, I don't know how he's gonna win. In terms it's gonna be a knockout, cold, stoppage, decision, split, unanimous. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I got Errol winning and I'm betting on that. Other than that, man, y'all brothers stay up.
Already, man. Going out to the BFB Master Q. Closing thoughts, my brother.
Oh man, this was a good show, man.
Appreciate it.
Everybody brought something. Everybody brought something different to the table. Whether I agree or disagree, it was some good shit. But on the 29th, I know we're gonna talk about this, and I just don't want to hear no excuses, man. I think Spence and 6, TKO. And that's my take for tonight.
I already appreciate you, Q. All right, going out to Dre from Southwest Philly. Closing thoughts, man.
Oh man, like the shout out to the panel, of course, shout out to the host. I come on here and I have a lot of fun, man, with our exchange and our discourse, whether we agree or disagree. But quiet is kept. I have a lot of anxiety going to this fight because I just want the fight to be like tomorrow, man. But y'all brothers, man, y'all help me get through with these conversations, man. So I appreciate y'all, and that's all I got, man.
Appreciate you, Dre. All right, man. Going out to Boxing Nerd 101. Closing thoughts, my brother.
Oh man, amazing panels. I just wanted to sit back and listen to you guys intellectually break down boxing, man. It was beautiful. A lot of historians, a lot of knowledgeable people. INTG, is it Mr. INTG?
Yeah.
He speaks a million miles a minute. I had to.
Yeah, it's INTJ. My bad.
I had to keep up, but one little point. People say Terrence has is chitty. He got rocked by Gamboa. Didn't he stop him in the same round? That's all I gotta say.
Alrighty, man. And last but not least, going out to the unbiased Brim Reaper. Take us home, man. Closing thoughts.
Hey, man, shout out to everybody in the panel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Another great show. Many diversified viewpoints. It's civil discourse. Shout out to the most gracious host and the most unbiased group, basically, in boxing. And at the end of the day, Q, there's more of a concern for Spence fans making excuses than Terence Crawford fans. That's a fact based on the goalposts moving and all that. And listen, Spence can win this fight, but if he lose, it's going to be more Spence fans in hiding and making excuses than Bud fans if Bud lose. That's a fact. But with that noted, until the next show, and God bless and good night.
Already, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out, man, if you haven't done so already. Shout out to the playback gang. Drop a comment below. Let me know if y'all enjoyed the show. Put some threes in the chat. Make sure y'all go sub up to my new channel, Go Thriller, the Black Picasso. Shout out to all my panelists, man. Boxing Nerd 101, Q, Unbiased Brim Reaper, Mr. Norris, Mr. INTJ, Loyal to the Game Boxing, J Mac 504. Man, if I forgot you, man, I apologize. Until next time, we are gone. Holla.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it.
Goat thriller, back better, iller, pound for pound. Killing these topics with analytics. Silencing all the critics. Trying to bite the style, they get sun like children. YouTube villain, podcast killing. So antagonistic and prolific with the swiftness. Make sure you make weight before you trying to debate. Yeah, I said it and I never hesitate. Hit them with hooks cause these rooks took the bait. Start the show cause goats never hesitate. Ducking smoke, got them sweating at they toxins. Goat thriller, cleaning up the sport of boxing. Aight then.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I fucking wait. I am the greatest. Yeah, I said it.